What is going on, everybody? Skyline Aikens here with Southwest Missouri Sports here on a Friday night as Week 6 is getting ready to kick off. We are here in Miller as the Miller Cardinals host the Sarcoxie Bears on homecoming, and which it's going to be a crucial game in the Southwest Conference as the Bears and the Cardinals both looking for a big-time win. Sarcoxie coming off of a 50-35 victory last weekend against El Dorado Springs, while the Cardinals gave Ash Grove all they wanted and more, as they took this number 7 team in the state to the wire. But ultimately 28-22, the Cardinals fell to the Ash Grove Pirates. Sarcoxie comes in 3-2 so far this year in Coach Ellis's 10th year at the helm. And if you've seen them play once in the last 10 years, you know what to expect again this year. They're going to be running the triple option, and I'm telling you, they have got a running back that Miller is going to have to contend with, be able to stop here, or else it's going to be a long night for the Miller defense. But we got a busy pregame here. We're still about 55 minutes away from kickoff, but we're going to go ahead and kick it down to our coaches, see what they think the keys to the game is going to be leading up to this matchup. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Skyline Aikens here with Southwest Missouri Sports. Joining me now is the coach of the Sarcoxie Bears, Russell Ellis. First off, Coach, thanks for taking a little bit of time here on this Tuesday to talk with us.
You bet, man. Glad to be a part of it. Appreciate you covering us.
So, let's just kind of start with this, beginning of the season, 3-2. Just kind of thoughts about, what kind of thoughts do you have about your squad, about halfway through the season?
I'm really proud of our guys. I'm really proud of our leadership. We are very young up front. When we got that many young guys up front, it's really hard. And our skill guys are some upperclassmen. We've got some really talented backs that have done a great job. And our young guys have worked really, really hard to get better week in and week out. And we've seen a lot of growth there offensively and been really proud of them. Just really proud of our effort and our willingness to buy into our program. Obviously, we've been here a long time. And so these kids kind of know how I am, know how I roll. And I'm just really appreciative of their buy-in and hard work, and our upperclassmen really working hard with our underclassmen. So it's been very good on both sides of the ball. I've been very proud. We let 2 get away from us. One, we lost a really good Stockton team. I mean, they're really talented. They're also in our district, but they've got a lot of good skill players that are all seniors. I'll be glad for them to go. No disrespect to them. And Pierce City also loaded with other classmen. I think both those schools have 10+ seniors, and kudos to those programs. But we were right there, within a score in both of those games, and let them kind of slip out of our fingers. But man, I'm proud of our kids. I really am.
Yeah, you actually kind of jumped the gun there. I wanted to talk about this. The bounce back you had last week. Just a really tough start to the season. Pierce City. I think. So a lot of people may have came out of nowhere, but they were have had a very good start to the season. And Stockton, I mean they're up front. They're about as big as you're going to see in the conference. And it's very difficult to match up with. But you guys bounced back with a big win last week against Eldo. Just kind of talk about what that took out of your guys to bounce back like that.
Our guys did a really good job. In that game, it kind of started off, we kind of got hit in the mouth. Second play of the game, Eldo goes like 74 yards for a touchdown. And, our guys didn't panic, didn't do anything. We had to make some adjustments defensively. And, offensively, we were able to have some success and kept ourselves in the game until defense, we kind of settled in. But it was really good. Because quite honestly, our defense is what has been keeping us in games. We haven't been able to really get going offensively. And last week, I thought our kids, you kind of saw that work and effort and practice kind of come to fruition on the process and, take care of ourselves and good things will happen, in which case it did. So it was a really good opportunity for our guys to learn. Hey,
Absolutely.
things don't go our way sometimes, but hey, there's always, tonight, and they responded well, and I'm very proud of them.
And it also always got to help whenever you have a guy like Noah, kind of leading the way. I mean, he just, he's been a force here for the last few years, and coming back here his senior year, just kind of talk about his start to the season and just what he means to the program.
Man, I'm telling you, 33 is a really good player. You try to invent ways to get that kid the ball. It makes you look really, really smart, right? Smarter than I am. And so he's an extremely talented runner, has great vision, makes people miss. He's stronger than what he looks. And obviously in open field, I mean, he's one of the fastest guys in the state. And so he does a really, really good job leadership wise. Cool, calm, and collective. Again, he's getting hit every play. Whether he gets the ball or not in our triple option offense, he's getting hit every play. And so, he's done a really, really good job commanding our offense as far as like, hey, just give me the ball and get out of my way. You guys up front, just give me something. Just give me a little bit and I'll make it happen. So he's really, really good. I'm honestly like, I've been really impressed with some of our other guys that stepped up too to kind of take some pressure off Noah. But yeah, he's a really good player, man.
So coming off of a season like you did last year, 8-2, you just kind of had your way with, especially in the games that I saw, you just kind of had your way with with your opponents. You just kind of talk about, kind of rolling that success over here to this year. I know you lost a big group of guys from last year, but also brought back a pretty good core. And just how did the success from last year help so far this season?
I mean, our guys, you understand what it takes to win. Even if you're not a big time player, you're just a role player or just getting a few snaps here and there, you see, you're a part of it. You see what it takes, the practice, the planning, the work ethic. You see what it takes to win and be successful. And so you hope that carries over regardless of, genetics, if you will, or, ability. You see what it takes. And so we've been able to have a decent amount of success over these last few years, and the guys have really done a good job in our program, working hard, and hopefully that hard work will, give us an opportunity to compete for championships, and that's the goal. But last year we lost, three really, really talented guys, 3 out of the 4x1 that were all state. And so when you got that kind of speed in the backfield, that makes you right. And in the secondary and linebacker core. So when those guys left, it kind of leaves some question marks. And I'm telling you what, like kids like Gatlin Malott and Caleb Chrisman, guys like Lane Everts and Chris Lara don't get enough credit. Grant Caddick at the quarterback, those guys, hey, they just said, hey, next, we're up. It's our turn, and have done a really good job this far. So I'm very, very happy. It's kind of like one of those program things. Who's next?
Right. So, you kind of hit a little bit on it, that triple option offense. And I mean, I'm going to tell you, on that new college football video game, I'm a triple option team myself. It makes the defenses have to play fundamentally sound. And, just watching some of the highlights from some of your other games, you look like you've kind of started doing a few other things kind of off of that. Just kind of talk about, how running a triple option offense, gives that offense, or it gives your offense the advantage.
So offensively, just from an offensive standpoint, like obviously you have to have talent, right? You got to be good up front. You got to be disciplined. But what this triple option does, like it allows you to leave people unblocked, an inside outside zone scheme. You've got to block everybody. Whereas with this triple, you don't have to block 2 people every play. Like they're unblocked. We're leaving people purposely unblocked. And so what that allows us to do is, a really aggressive defense hopefully can slow them down a little bit. Now, some teams like, I can go back to Pierce City, like, you're getting 8, 9-man boxes, and they're just blitzing you and overwhelming you a little bit. We got to have some things, some wrinkles, so that you're not running fullback dive or, inside veer or midline into an 8-9 box. That's just stupid. So we've tried to get a little more creative. I've got great coaches who are very helpful and very willing to have, lots of experience and give different ideas. And so we've had some the ability to kind of put in a few wrinkles, if you will. And so that's been really helpful. Um, but as far as triple option, man, like I think, it's just I really love it. I think
Yeah,
it's matches my personality. It matches our kids. Who doesn't love a good Army Navy game? Harding
absolutely.
University just won the Division II national championship. They're number one in the country. I think they just broke the college winning streak record in all levels. So, I mean, there's something to be said about it. I mean, yes, sometimes it does get boring when all you're getting zone dive in a football game, but it can also be electric, like it was,
Yep,
last week against Eldo, where like, out of nowhere, it's just like blowing up. So I mean, it's something that our kids really enjoy and what I enjoy being a part of.
absolutely. I'm glad you brought up the Army Navy. As a Oklahoma fan, a few years ago, we hosted Army, and they gave us all sorts of fits, and we very nearly lost that game with a long. If it wasn't for Kyler Murray, definitely was going to lose that one.
Yeah,
But
they're not. It's not fun to see that at that
uh-uh.
level because they can cut out in space and do a lot of things we in high school can't do. That probably is not real fun for some of those guys to get done to them.
I'm sure not. So you come into Miller here this week. They're 1-4. Played probably their best game of the season last week against and nearly knocked off an Ash Grove team that state ranked. Just talk about what you've seen from Miller on tapes up to this point.
Man, I'm telling you what, like I don't care what their record is, man. I think they're really good. Like we saw them at Evangel and we struggled. Quite frankly. Um, they're really physical defensively. They run to the ball. Um, and offensively with Nate Hill back there at quarterback. Um, forgive me, 22 and 24 at running back. Those two
Owen
boys,
Dempster and Caden Calvin.
those guys are really, really talented. I think at
Yeah.
number three is usually a lung.
Yep.
He's
Long.
got some speed. And they've got 2 or 3, 4 wide receivers that they do a really good job. But man, like offensively, they're very multiple and creates a lot of stress on your defense where you're trying to, hey, we're going to try to stop the run and they take the top off. So, Derek's done a really good job. It's a really good group. They're really talented. I think they're solid. Obviously, they played Ash Grove, who's state ranked, to a one-score game. I watched that film. Like I felt like Miller, um, you know, was the better team that night.
Yep.
Obviously Ryan Long's a really good coach, and so is Derek, but the ball just kind of bounced in Ash Grove's favor, to be quite honest. But I think Miller's really solid. I think they've done a good job and are obviously a lot of upperclassmen led. And so we're looking forward to hopefully a good game, and hopefully we can keep it close against them and at least have an opportunity at the end to win.
Yeah, you kind of hit on on kind of the versatility that their offense can play under, and whenever they're playing well, that's kind of some of the things that they like to they like to stay balanced. And just as a defense, just how do you prepare for a team who is trying to be as balanced as Miller does?
So I mean, it's just like anything else. Like all coaches say, you try to find their 3 best run plays. You try to find their 3 best pass plays, their go-to plays when they need it. You're looking for that, and you're going to try to find a way to stop it or at least slow it down. And so that's what we've tried to do. And obviously, as multiple as they are, it's hard. Um, but that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to slow down or take away what they do best, and from a defensive standpoint, try to make them take away those big plays. They've had some really big plays in all the games that I've seen, of 40 plus play, 40 plus length touchdowns, passes, runs. And so that's one of the things we're going to try to slow down is take away that big play. I would say is one of our primary focuses.
Well, Coach, I'll leave you on this last question. It's every coach's goal is to go 1-0 every single week. I mean, what are the keys for the Sarcoxie Bears to leave Miller 1-0?
From an offensive standpoint, I would say take care of the ball, right? Take care of us, be disciplined. Just execute when we have the opportunity to execute. From a defensive standpoint, just like I kind of alluded to, hey, let's take away the big play. Let's make them continue to snap it. Let's make them go on 12, 15 play drives. Let's get a turnover. Those are the big things. Hey, take away the big play and force some turnovers. That's one of the big things that we've kind of talked about yesterday in our team meeting. And then, obviously from a special team standpoint, we talk about all three phases, man, win that portion. If every opportunity we can win on those special teams, whether it's field position, a big punt block, a big return. Those are our three things that we try to focus on week in and week out.
Well, Coach Ellis, thank you very much for taking a little bit of time. I know I told you 5 minutes. It ended up being a little bit longer than that. But
no, absolutely. I enjoy it. Thank you so much, man, for covering us. Thanks for being at the game. So will this be on so I can pass this along to our people? Like, how's this going to work?
Yep. So we're going to be on YouTube. I'll shoot you the link out once I get everything ready. And yeah, absolutely. Love to have as many Sarcoxie Bears watching as well.
You bet, man.
But I want to say thank you again to Coach Ellis. We are getting
Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of the Miller Cardinals, Skylan Akins, as he chats with coach of the Cardinals, Derek Hill.
What's going on, everybody? Skylan Akins here with Southwest Missouri Sports, joined once again head coach of the Miller Cardinals, Derek Hill. First off, thanks again. I know it's right after a Wednesday practice. I'm sure ready to get home.
Wednesday ritual.
But all right, let's going back to last week. It was absolutely a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Starting down 14 before you blink, and then coming all the way back. Scoring, going up 22-14. Into the half. Just kind of take us back through last week and kind of the roller coaster it was.
It's Ashgrove's a really good team, and we thought we had a good game plan for them. But obviously it's kind of been the story sometimes of the year. Some teams smack us before we even know what's going on. And we were down 14, and we had a couple penalties in the first drive that gave them a little shorter field, and then the tip ball that picked inside the, I don't know, it's a 20 or 25, whatever. And then next thing we know, it's 14-0, and so we were, before we knew what was going, we spotted them, and it was not the way you want to start against the number 9 ranked team, but number 9 ranked team they're that for a reason, because they capitalize on other people's mistakes and they don't make mistakes. And for our kids to respond immediately after that is, again, why we played. I think we had a kind of a tough schedule going out, put ourselves in situations, and our kids I think did a really good job of overcoming that and putting themselves in a situation to win a football game. But I was real proud of how they responded to that blitz of first 2 drives for them, Ash Grove.
Yeah, I mean, what was being said there in the huddle after that second touchdown? You run 2 offensive plays at that point.
Yeah.
It almost looked like it was shell shocked, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nate finds Jared on a 51-yard touchdown. Then it was off to the races.
Yeah, it was. We just told them, you got to stay in it. At that point there was only probably 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes off the clock, and we had a lot of football to go, and we haven't even. We stressed all week. We got to show our athleticism and capitalize on those mismatches or whatever at times. And the kids responded. and we had a drive, a run, got a couple yards, had another run, that kind of got us a little bit. But then we thought we could throw the football, and our line did a really good job on that play. They held, we probably blocked for 6-7 seconds, and J-Rod he's an athlete, found an open gap, and Nate saw him and hit it, and then from that point, J-Rod made a really, really, really good run to go 51 yards. He made some guys shake, and was a really good play that sparked a ridiculous amount of momentum going for the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, and Jared kind of had his breakout game there with 2 touchdowns there in the first half. He's been a solid weapon for you all season long, but I mean he just seemed to be on a different level. Just what did you see out of him?
I mean he wants the football all the time, and he needs the football. I mean he's a really good athlete in whatever phase it is. If it's running it, if it's catching it. And we had to find ways. Sometimes we stalled to get him the football in the first few games, and we made a point. We have to get him the football, and stressing in the with Nate and that you got to look and give the line to give him time to find it. But J-Rod he's just a baller. I mean there's no other explanation in whatever sport it is. He balls, and he might not be the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest, but he's the most competitive. And it was great to see him break out. I think he had 4 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 100 and some yards receiving. And so it's just nice for people to, maybe they haven't seen that out of him this year. We all knew it, and it was nice that there's a lot of people know that J-Rod's still a really good football player.
Yeah, another guy that was kind of quiet here the last few weeks, had a really good night, led you guys in tackles. Colton Brown, not only led you in the tackles, but even caught a 2-point conversion.
Colton's learning, and it's when we started the year, we knew our linebacker core was going to be ridiculously young, or young as in varsity snaps, and They had all played the position. They hadn't played it consistently on Friday nights. And we kind of had that conversation with Brody Rinker early. He was learning the position because he was a lineman. And same thing with Colton. The game is fast, and we just had to get him to, get that speed up. Yeah. And because he would be a little bit behind or a little bit off, I'm looking at the wrong thing. And he had some mistakes. And we've worked on correcting those, but he had corrected some of the other mistakes that he had in previous games, and I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, so moving on to this Friday night, have Sarcoxie coming in. Sarcoxie was a team that you guys played really close a year ago. They would finish 8-2. Yeah. What state ranked, I believe. Just what have you seen out of the Bears so far this year?
They're systematically really, really good. They do what they do, and they do it well. And, that 100% goes right back to their coaching. And so Coach Ellis, they know what they're going to do whenever they're born a Sarcoxie Bear. And, they're going to run the triple option. And they do it well. And it doesn't matter the talent, because they run what they do consistent. They run it hard. Their linemen block hard. They go to the right the right person, and the backs just know where to go. And you got to have a quarterback that can administer all that, in the backfield. And they pulled a 2 to 3 year starter out, put another guy in, and he's doing a really good job. So they're well coached, and they've know how to win. I mean, they're 3-2, and so they've won some games against some good football teams. So it's going to be a really tough match.
Yeah, the triple option is definitely difficult to defend. You have to rely on being disciplined at the defense. Shoot, that's why I run it in NCAA all the time. I'm a triple option team. Especially against other people. You have to force them to not get antsy, and it's not sexy brand of football. However, if it's ran right, but just what are some of the challenges that coming into this one?
Oh, it's the biggest challenge is having faith that the next guy to you is going to do his job, because what happens is you think you have to do that job as well as yours, and then a good option team will exploit that decision making, and you just have to trust that if I do my job, my teammate is going to do his job, and that's all it is. It's assignment football, 100%. We always talk about alignment, assignment, and execution. The alignment, they're in what they are. Kind of a little tighter. It's a little different when you're in spread. Alignments is very, very crucial. But this one is assignment football, and you have to achieve your assignment and trust the next guy too. He's going to do his.
Yeah, we talked a lot, going into last week about Kyler Reese. Sarcoxie's kind of has their bell cow as well in Noah Garrison.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of talk about him and some of the challenges he presents.
Noah's, I thought, the best player in the conference. Might have been last year as well. He runs the ball hard. He's fast. He's a good athlete, and it's just been kind of. If you don't account for him, he's going to go for 70. And before you even know what's going on.
Yeah, so the Sarcoxie team, as solid as they are, they are also very young, especially along the line of scrimmage. Just what can you guys do to kind of exploit some of their youth?
We got to use our speed and our strength. They are young, but I think systems will overcome talent, age, experience, whatever you want to do. Those coaches have those guys ready. They wouldn't be in that position if they they couldn't do it. So for us to help, I think attack that inexperience or that youth is we got to use our size and our strength, because I feel like our defensive front is pretty strong and they're quick. But again, you've got to be ball outside of that. But I like our kids up front, and it'd be a good test for them.
Well, Coach, your favorite question every week: what's it gonna take to go 1-0?
1-0 is 0 penalties. Okay, we still are on the upwards of 4 to 5 a game. We have to be at 0, and we have to eliminate the big play. Sarcoxie's going to drive the football. Because that's what they do. You cannot allow them anything more than 20 play games. Can't have every many of those, because again, it's their offense is so systematic that it's precision, and if you allow them to get that little bit of gap then it's going to be a long night. So as long as we don't give up a big play, no penalties, everything else will take care of itself.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. We're getting close to kickoff. We're down to about 5 minutes now. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school football on Southwest Missouri Sports.
My interview, I went a little bit out of order. We are not quite 5 minutes away from game time. We are about 26 minutes away from game time, as we just wrapped up all the homecoming festivities. Congratulations to Alexis Bailey on being named homecoming queen for 2024 here in Miller tonight. So we're about 26 minutes away from our opening kickoff. It was a heartbreaker for the Miller Cardinals last week, as they it was kind of a roller coaster type game, as Ash Grove jumped out 14-0 in just a matter of about 4 minutes off the clock, with a couple of big time runs and then an interception there on Nate Hill's first attempt of the game. They were able to bounce back with a 51-yard touchdown pass from Nate Hill to Jared Lung, and then Lung found the end zone one more time, tie the game up at 14. Miller took a 22-14 lead into the half after a quarterback sneak by Nate Hill gave them their first half lead, I believe, of the season. I'd have to go back and double check that stat, but those first half leads have been few and far between for the Miller Cardinals. And vibes were high going into halftime. the 1994 state championship team was honored. And then after a very defensive second half, one that at one point saw the teams punt 6 times in a row, the Ash Grove Pirates offense ended up being too much, and the number 7 ranked Ash Grove Pirates ended up winning that game. Here's what you missed if you did not tune in last week. Second and goal from the 3-yard line here, and the ball comes out, but it's going to be bounced right back up to Reese, and he'll back to pass, and ball's tipped up and intercepted. It was looking for Reese, looking to pass, and throws it in traffic, and what a catch! Who was that? Number 10, Jaden Haynes. 3rd down. Hill looks to throw. He's looking. He has plenty of time. Has Jared Long wide open over the middle of the field. Makes the first guy miss. He's going. He's got space in front of him, and he will score. Jared Long looking like a gazelle, making guys miss. 49-yard kick. And looks like ball came out. Cardinals saying they have it. And they do. Turnover from the 3-yard line. And Hill's going to carry it himself. It's going to be close. And it's good. Touchdown, Cardinals. There was a lot of discussion. Convert a 2-point conversion here, with a minute and a half remaining here in the opening quarters. Hill is going to be forced to run, and he brings it down. Jared Long and Stan. Reese back to throw. Ball is up and incomplete. A trio of Cardinals be out like that. Hill scrambles to the far side. He's going to throw it to the end zone. He's got a man. Touchdown. Cardinals. 27-yard touchdown. 3rd and 15. Empty set. Reese looking to throw. He's going to go up the middle and nearly intercepted. However, Jared Long, say 2nd and 7 here. Reese looking deep. He gets hit as he throws. And Madsen does not make the play there. And a touchdown, Pirates.
3rd down. Deep pass. And caught for a touchdown. Throws the ball up in the air.
On that drive. Got trips on to the near side here. And Hill looking to throw it. Going to find Jared Long. Long's going to make the first guy miss. Make the second guy miss. And can go upfield. And a flag is thrown. Late hit out of Betty in this one. Nate Hill is looking to pass. He's going to find Jalen Madsen. Madsen's going to try. He makes the first guy miss. And he's going to be out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Make a play. Hill is looking for Long, and Long's going to get it to the outside. He's going to be brought. Nate Hill drops back. He's looking. Pockets collapsing. He's got room. He throws it. Intercepted. It's going to be incomplete. And none other than Kyler Reese makes the play. And it looks like the Ash Grove Pirates are going to hold off on the upset bid here by the Cardinals. But welcome back to Miller. Yes, it was a heartbreaker for the Miller Cardinals last week. They are looking to rebound against a good Sarcoxie team, 3-2 up to this point. We'll jump a little bit more into what to expect out of them here shortly. But first, let's take a look at what happened around the area last week. 28-22 in the Southwest Conference. Ashgrove defeated Miller 34-7. Stockton Tigers went into Springfield and dominated the Central Bulldogs as they fall down to 0-5. Stockton Tigers, after that week 1 loss to Marionville, they're starting to look pretty good moving forward. Speaking of those Marionville Comets, number 1 ranked team in the state, 52-16 over Diamond. Pierce City got back on track. They improved to 3-2 after a 49-12 win over Skyline, and Sarcoxie defeated the El Dorado Springs Bulldogs, handing them their first loss of the season. For the top 5, Pierce City sneaks in there with the number 3 seed right now with 45.8 points so far this year. Midway, Skyline, Lincoln, Kabul, 27 has a 2-point lead over the Miller Cardinals despite not winning a game yet. So a win here would do wonders for the Miller Cardinals in terms of district seeding. Looking around the area at some of the big games, Republic defeated Joplin 49-38. 35-26 was the final in Reed Springs as the Stratford Indians defeated the newcomers in the Mid-Lakes Conference. Perhaps the shocker of the 9. Number 5, Marionville travels to Lamar, kind of beats down the Lamar Tigers, gives Lamar their second loss of the season already. So that's definitely, Lamar's got another tough one tonight against Nevada. Nevada coming off of a 28-7 victory over East Newton. Webb City ended the undefeated hopes of, and one of the better stories in the area this year, the 4-0 Neosho Wildcats. They fall to 4-1 after the loss. Liberty had their way against the Willow Springs Bears 50-0 in their game out east. Thayer defeats Houston, gives Houston their first loss of the season. Nixa can continue their reign of terror over the COC. They defeated Lebanon 56-12, and they had a Thursday night game last night where they defeated Kickapoo by, I believe, this final score was like 48-14 or something like that. So Nixa definitely on the fast track to make it up to Columbia out of the area. And then the final game of the week was the Monette Cubs getting their first win in the mock era as they defeated McDonald County 40-27. Take a look at the Class 1 state rankings. There's a little bit of Southwest Conference flavor here in this one. Marionville, number 1, much like they have been all season long. Ash Grove, they are actually up to number 7. Ash Grove and Milan are tied for number 7. I forgot to fix that. But looking to this week, so we'll start in the Southwest Conference since that's where we're at here tonight. Miller takes it on Sarcoxie. The 1-4 Cardinals looking for their second conference win over the 3-2 Sarcoxie Bears. Diamond hosts the Lighthouse Christian Chargers, the homeschool team out of the Springfield area. Number 1, Marionville hosts Pierce City. And that might be the game that I have my eyes on the most outside of this one here in Miller, just because of how Pierce City is. I mean, they've been an upstart program in year 1 of the Jim Ginsler era out in Pierce City. And so that might be one that Marionville may have some trouble handling, that double wing offense that Ginsler likes to run. Pierce City will see them here in a couple weeks against Miller. I'm curious to see how that game goes against Marionville. Stockton travels up to Creighton, Missouri, way up north to take on the Sherwood Marksmen. And in Urbana, the Skyline Tigers welcome the Ashgrove Pirates. Around the area, the Southwest Missouri games of the week, starting in Marshfield, where the Branson Pirates are number 8 in the state. They look to improve to 6-0. Just up the road, Cassville Wildcats coming off of a 2 weeks removed from upsetting previously unbeaten Lamar, number 1 team in the state. They will travel to Mount Vernon to take on the Mountaineers, who sit at number 5 in Class 3. And then perhaps the game of the week. Seneca travels to Carl Junction, and what could be a tremendous game. Formerly a conference game, no longer, with Carl Junction going to the Ozark Mountain Conference. But then in Lamar, the Nevada Tigers take on the Lamar Tigers in the Battle of the Tigers. Both teams come in ranked number 7 in their respective class. Nevada Class 4, Lamar Class 2. Webb City travels to Republic. Republic has been on an absolutely unreal tear, these last couple of seasons. So they look to notch another big win there against Webb City. We talked about Marionville. We talked about Stockton. The Carthage Tigers, they host Joplin, and what could be an underrated game of the week. And wrapping up out east, Ava Bears host the Houston Tigers. We'll take a look at some of the team stats up to this point. Points per game, Sarcoxie leads 26.8 to Miller 17. And the stat that I really want to point out here is that rush yards. 280 rushing yards for Sarcoxie every game, opposed to 108 for the Miller Cardinals. Yes, the Sarcoxie Bears are going to be very one-dimensional. They're running the triple option. They're going to want to force the Cardinals to make decisions and stick and play very fundamentally sound football from the word go here tonight. Oop. Passing, Nate Hill leads the way for the Cardinals, 536 yards for the season, adding another 209 on the ground. 3 touchdowns total, 2 through the air. Actually, I forgot to update that. It should be 4 through the air, 1 and 2 rushing. 7 turnovers for Nate. Caddick is going to be looking. He's not going to put the ball in the air very often. He's going to look to be a little bit more efficient when he does. Rushing leaders, Noah Garrison he's going to be the bell cow for this Sarcoxie team. He's fast, he's big, he is strong, and he runs with a purpose. And that's why you see him averaging 7.1 yards per carry with 9 touchdowns, 657 yards up to this point. But we're going to step aside here for just a minute. Actually, we're going to kick it down to one of our sponsors, the Clever Barn. We're about 11 minutes away. We're going to step aside here in just a minute, but we're going to step aside for the national anthem.
Hello, everybody. Skyline Akins with Southwest Missouri Sports here. Joined with me is Laura Walden of the Clever Barn. First off, just thank you for taking a little bit of time and talking with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So, Clever Barn here in Clever, Missouri, kind of event venue. Just kind of tell me a little bit more about about your venue.
Yeah, it was built in the 1880s, and my husband and I have done all the work on it to create a very relaxing, laid-back feel as soon as you get here. And we have every kind of event you can think of out here. We have weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, karaoke nights. We have ladies' nights, guys' nights, movie parties, a little bit of everything really out here.
Yeah, it really was there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You were taking me around here and showing me there was everything from a putting green to tiki bars. And,
yeah.
It really is. There is something for everybody.
Oh, well, thank you.
So when did you guys open?
We opened up May 17th, 2014. So we just now celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
10 years.
This summer, yeah, we went just like that. And we've just been having a blast, and we're always working on it. And it's just the two of us, and a lot of work, but we love what we're doing, have huge passion for it, and you just never know what you're going to see every time you come out. So we get a kick out of that.
What was your inspiration kind of behind wanting to open something like this up?
Well, you're probably going to laugh at this. Actually, we used to have parties here back when it was just a nasty old barn, and we're having a party upstairs, our Waldoween, which is our Halloween party we have every year, with our last name being Walden.
Yeah.
Started with Waldo. So we're having our Waldoween back in 2013, and we had like 50 plus, people. And just having a blast, and at that time it was just nasty,
Yeah.
And as they were leaving, we were out there by the bonfire, and I said, what do you think about turning this whole thing into a venue, kind of thing? And he looked at me and said, I think you're nuts. I said, well, I think so too, but, you don't know till you try. So we started.
Welcome back to Miller, Missouri, as we are getting close to game time as the Cardinals getting ready to run out of the tunnel for their see if I can even rearrange just a little bit, see if we can get a little bit better view. And no, we're not going to quite get there. However, but we're going to take a look at the starters for tonight's game, starting with Sarcoxie Bears offense. Grant Caddick is going to be the starting quarterback. He was 15 of 40 for the season, 195 yards and a touchdown. Also adds 106 yards on the ground and a touchdown as the Cardinals are making their run out to midfield, waving the flag. Senior leader Owen Dempster, and he is very aggressively waving the flag. But Grant Caddick, he's going to be the catalyst for this Sarcoxie offense. But the focus is going to be on number 33, Noah Garrison. If you can slow down Garrison, then you have a very good shot of winning this, as the offensive line is going to be very young. We'll talk about them here in just a minute. 92 carries, 657 yards, averaging 7.1 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns, 3 fumbles. He was a two-way all-conference selection a year ago. As Sarcoxie coming out as we speak right now are the Bears. Joining Garrison in the backfield, Gatlin Mallott is going to be another big threat. 34 carries, 386 yards, averaging 11.4 per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, and a little razzle-dazzle. He has a passing touchdown as well. Caleb Chrisman is going to be the other guy that when I was talk to the defensive line coach, Jamie Higginbotham, earlier today, he was saying he's the kind of the guy that's underrated in this backfield. You're going to have to keep an eye out for him. 23 carries, 220 yards, averaging 9.6 yards per carry. He's a big boy, 6 foot, 190, all conference as an offensive lineman a year ago as a junior. Receiving, Lane Everts, Chris Laura, 3 receptions, 38 yards for 2 touchdowns. Everts, 3 receptions, 94 yards, 48 as this long. And this is going to be the area where the Miller Cardinals are going to be able to take advantage. They do have one senior, Lucas Pedro, starting on the offensive line, but after that you have freshman Alex Scott, 6 foot 215, Cole Kuhlhofer, 6 foot 190 freshman, Gray Phelps, 6'4", 260, big boy sophomore, and Cooper Pettit, 6'1", 175 freshman. So 3 freshmen, 1 sophomore starting on the offensive line. That's going to be what Miller's going to have to attack hard early on if they're wanting to disrupt this offense. Starting that offense for the Cardinals, Nate Hill is going to be leading the way. And I guess I can pull up the graphics that I worked so hard on as well. Nate Hill leading the way, 6 of 17 last week for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, had another touchdown on the ground. This big one was a 51-yard strike to Jared Long. Long had 2 long touchdowns last week. Caden Calvin struggled getting things going. He broke his 2-game streak of 90-plus yards, had 10 carries for 15 yards. It was an all-conference selection a year ago. Owen Dempster has 28 carries, 89 yards on the season. Jared Long is going to be the primary threat, catching the ball. 4 receptions, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 carries for 2 yards a week ago. He has 203 yards for the season, 4 tutties. Blake Walters, Owen Weiss, Jalen Madsen. Madsen came out guns a-blazing the first couple of weeks of the season, but he has 5 receptions, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. And on the line, it's going to be Jackson Johnson, Lane Call, Eli Woods, Connor Neely, and Mason Neely. Starting on defense for the Cardinals, starting in the defensive backfield, Jared Long, Blake Walters, Jalen Madsen, Trenton Pierce. At the linebacker core, Caden Calvin, Brody Rinker. And Rinker, still, you heard Coach Hill talk about it a little bit. Still very, very, very new to the linebacker position after he was primarily an offensive or a defensive lineman last season. but he has been fantastic. Had 11 tackles last week with a tackle for loss, 52 tackles for the season. And kind of the surprise, another one of the starters, Charlie Langston, has been a tremendous piece for the Cardinals. A freshman, had 5 tackles last week, has 5 tackles for loss this season. And then Colton Brown, also another guy that's kind of learning the linebacking position. He had 13 tackles, led the team in tackles last week. To go along with him on the defensive line, Owen Dempster, Connor Neely, and Mason Neely. Then the defense for the Bears, Chris Lorick, Grant Caddick, Lane Everts in the backfield. This team's is running a 3, and Gatlin Mallet, another 5.5 tackles for loss, 4 fumbles, and 3 pass breakups. The teams are going out to midfield as we are about 2.5 minutes away. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Whenever we come back, we're going to have kickoff. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylin Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our...
Welcome back to Miller as the team's still at midfield. It looks like Sarcoxie won the toss. And they're going to try to figure out, and think they're going to defer. So it looks like the Miller Cardinals going to be getting the ball first. But we want to talk a little bit more about what the Sarcoxie offense is going to do. They are a pistol. This is Coach Ellis's words, not mine. A pistol, flexbone, triple option football team. And for some of you viewers at home, says I have no idea what that means. If you've ever watched the Army-Navy game in college football, that's going to be a lot of what you see. A lot of option, triple option, a lot of speed option. One way or the other, this Miller defense is going to have to be extremely disciplined and just be ready to make some hard-nosed tackles, because this offense is going to be running right at you. I want to say thank you to our sponsors real quick. Clever Barn and the Burger Shack. Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of the Miller Cardinals Athletics. It is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shades of the football stands. Be sure to stop there for your next pregame meal. I did for the last couple of weeks, and I can say I have never been let down by them. They are fantastic burgers. I get the grilled chicken sandwich now, and it is absolutely delicious. Noah Garrison lining up to kick off for the Bears. Madsen and Walters back deep for the Miller Cardinals. 12 minutes on the scoreboard, and we are underway now for this week 6 action, as the opening kickoff is going to eventually roll out of bounds. So good starting position for the Miller Cardinals. And this Sarcoxie defense has been a bit of a question mark coming into this one. They've allowed plenty of points. Like I said, 35. It was kind of a a classic Big 12 game, if you will, last week with the El Dorado Springs, as it was 50-35. So this defense will allow points. Very young, very inexperienced. This very, very, very old and experienced offense is going to have to take advantage of the youth here tonight. And the first pitch is going to be a toss to the left side. Caden Cowling going to be brought down for a short game, about gain of 2. Tackled by Caleb Chrisman. And Chrisman, there is a relation to our cheerleading coach. And her name is completely escaping me right now. But Cadence Chrisman is her name. Second down pass, complete to Jared Long. Long is going to be brought up and upended there at about the 42-ish yard line. Be a gain of about 5. 3rd and 3. Yeah. And the third down play is going to be stopped for gain of about 2.5. That's not going to be enough. And it looks like the Cardinals are going to open the game up with a punt. The Cardinals kind of in the position in the field, especially against a team that's kind of had your number for the last few years. A very talented Sarcoxie team. I was kind of expecting, the roll of the dice here early, but right now we're going to just decide to punt it away and try to get a stop in a punt almost blocked there by number 11, but a good punt there by Owen Weiss, and returning is, I believe, Chrisman, or that is a Gallet, and he's going to be brought down deep in his own territory. And it looks like it's going to be a face mask against the Cardinals. And that's going to bring the ball out to the 26 yard line. And Sarcoxie back with their first possession of this week 6 contest. And it's going to be start with a 1st and 5 as the Miller Cardinals a little too excited. They jump on the hard count and is going to jump off sides. Grant Caddick leading the way. He's a 6-foot senior for the Sarcoxie Bears. Not going to do a whole lot of throwing. He only has 40 pass attempts for the season, but he's also a threat to run. And this one's going to go to Garrison up the middle, and big gain there, about 7. And if the Cardinals are going to want to have a shot here, they're going to have to keep 33 to have essentially no role in this one. You have to spy him and make sure he doesn't get going, because once he gets going, it could be a long day.
It was first down.
It was a 1st and 5.
Okay, I'll do that.
Second down, tossing go to the outside to Chrisman, and Chrisman's just gonna be running over Cardinals. And good strong run there by Chrisman. That's gonna be a gain of about 15 on the toss play. And he met, I believe it was Walters in the, right at the sideline, and Walters made a business decision and got put on his back. Good strong run there by Crispin. First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Two carries for 22 yards for this team, and it's gonna be a toss to the other side. Another strong run, ball comes out. I didn't hear any whistles, and a fumble recovery, a big hit there on Gatlin Mallet, and that's gonna be a fumble recovered by the Cardinals. That was the case. I think he ran into Brody Rinker, and I think Rinker took the brunt of the hit, but was able to get enough of the ball where the ball pops out. So 1st and 10 going the other way. We got some lightning fast action. We're already to the third possession of the game as Nate Hill is going to look for Lung. Lung goes to the outside, makes the first guy miss across the 50-yard line, keeps still going to 45-yard line the other way. And this is something that I talked with Coach Hill about a lot this week, trying to get Jared Long, one of the best playmakers in the entire conference. Get him going with some short stuff. And I mean, that's how they scored the 52-yard line, just a short little quick slant up the middle, and you let one of the best athletes in the conference go make a play. And that is exactly what Miller's has come out trying to do here in this one. 1st and 10, Hill back in shotgun, was looking to throw again. He's going to go deep. He has Caden Calvin open, and it is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Caden Calvin leaked out of the backfield, and nobody was accounting for the running back. 45-yard touchdown, and the Cardinals are on the board first. What a play there. Jalen Madsen, or not Jalen Madsen, Nate Hill sits in the pocket and just waits and waits and waits as the 2-point conversion is going to be blown up. And Nate Hill is going to find Owen Dempster for a 2-point conversion. And that was one where it just looked like nothing was set up there. But eventually, Owen Dempster popped open. We're going to step aside for just a second now. That's been a lot of action. Real quick, you're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event.
Welcome back to Miller. As we are 8-0, the Miller Cardinals has the lead after a 45-yard touchdown pass from Nate Hill to Caden Calvin. That was Calvin's first reception of the season, and it goes for 45 and 6. And the little pooch kick covered there by Sarcoxie. Sarcoxie in their white uniforms, yellow helmet, yellow pants, almost looking like LSU out there. One of the coolest uniforms in the Southwest Conference, in my humble opinion. Miller in their gray helmets, red tops, gray pants. And the Sarcoxie defense or offense back on the field after the fumble. And Caddick is going to pitch out to Gallup once again. And this time he is going nowhere. And Owen Dempster in there. Dempster and 54, I believe that was a Neely. Connor Neely. They went right back to Mallet or Malott following the fumble. And go straight to Garrison, and the Cardinals were right there. Caden Cowan filled the hole. Owen Dempster right there, and Brody Rinker. It was a family affair there, as a whole group. If you're looking for Caddick to beat you through the air, that's exactly what the key to this Miller defense is going to be. Try to get Caddick to beat you through the air. If you can get, keep him living in third and long, you're going to have a lot of success. Punt here, it was Chrisman kicking and long back deep, and this one's going to be downed at about the 19-yard line, and the Miller defense gets another stop.
19-yard line. First down, Cardinals.
Cardinals with an 8-0 lead here, approaching the halfway mark here in this opening quarter of play. Nate Hill by himself in the backfield, and he's looking to throw and is running for his life here, but he finds a receiver. I believe that was Walters, but the pressure just a little strong there, and was not able to deliver a good throw. It's going to be up a 2nd and 10. And I mean, from the word go on that play, it was under duress as Carter Phillips, the sophomore linebacker, leads the team with 62 tackles. Got off the end with was untouched. Hill looking to throw again. He's got Owen Weiss, and Weiss makes a catch right at the sticks. I don't think it's going to be enough to quite get there, but that's going to bring up a 3rd and very, very short. And that was a good-looking play there by Weiss, a play that he's kind of struggled with. That ball kind of floats in the air, and Weiss, admittedly, at times a little bit timid whenever the ball's in the air, and he knows he's going to get hit. But he does a good job there, hauling it in and bringing up a 3rd and short. Full backfield here at your bunch set to the left. And this one's going to Calvin. Calvin finds a hole up the middle. That's going to be enough for a first.
Calvin bulldozes his way for the first down.
Gain of about 4 there.
Take that all the way to the 31. First down.
Just want to say thank you once again for tuning in to high school football here on a Friday night. Alongside my partner in crime, Billy Bieber, Lynette Kleeman, and Sam Ferguson in the room. Despite with his, it even has a shirt that's admitting that he's not fast.
5 yards on it.
Gain of 5 there for Calvin. Looks like it'd be closer to 6. Calvin already approaching his total from total on the ground from last week, up to 14 on 4 carries. 2nd and 4 from the 37. Split backfield, this time going to Calvin again, and he's gonna be brought down, and flag comes out. And looks like it's gonna be a horse collar or a face mask on Sarcoxie. And it's going to be a face mask on Sarcoxie. That's going to be another 15 yards. Going to give the Cardinals a first down. Keep the chains a moving. Be a 48-yard line of the Sarcoxie Bears now. And Hill's going to take a shot here to Jared Long, and he brings it in down to the 11-yard line. Nice, great shot play. However, Long slow to get up. And he pops up. He maybe landed on the ball, got the breath knocked out of him for a second. But that's going to be a gain of 37. And Long had his first 100-yard game of the season last game, as Long's going to come take a breather here.
No, just turn it on. Flip it up. Just want to make sure.
Hill looking to get into the end zone this time. He is going to be brought back, almost taking a suplex city there by Garrison.
He is going to take down by number 33, Garrison. Loses 3 yards, cuts it down.
And that's going to be a loss of 3. Lung still over on the sideline catching his breath. And that was a beautiful ball there by Hill. As a throw that early in the season, he is just overthrown. Has not connected on. But that so far, early on today, he has looked very good. This pass going to be a short to Walters and brought down by his sleeve. He had
he picks it down by number 5 in a row.
Can bring up about a gain of 5 on the reception from Walters. And and the Cardinals have had big shot plays like that early in this season, where they've had the man just overthrows them. But so far, has put 2 balls right in the bucket. But faces a 3rd and 9 here from the 10. And Hill looking, he's going to scramble out to the left. He's got room around the outside, and it's going to be close. He's going to be marked out of bounds at the 1, but that's going to be enough for a first down. And that was a good decision there from Hill.
First and go.
And we've seen this package a few times. We're going to see Jared Long go up under center for a quarterback sneak, and no signal yet. Flag out wide. And a false start.
False start on the Cardinals. Pushing them back. Still first down.
Still going to be a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. And we've started seeing that package a lot more here in the last 2-3 weeks, where instead of having Hill run it in on the sneak, you're bringing, we've talked about the athleticism, and Jared Long, not a big guy in stature, able to maybe get underneath some of the big linemen. 1st and goal, and Hill's going to look to throw. He's going to scramble out to the left side. Nobody's there, and touchdown, Cardinals. A 6-yard run there by Nate Hill. That's good for his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Miller Cardinals are absolutely cooking here in this first half. That was a 86-yard touchdown drive. Extra point up and extra point through.
Extra point is good.
By Jared Long. 15-0's your score. We're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. get a really good bounce last week, and that kind of put Ash Grove in a bad starting offensive position, and ultimately forced a fumble that led to the game-tying touchdown against Ash Grove, as this kick is going to be returned by Garrison. Garrison's got space on the outside. He cuts back in, and he's got space, and he will score. Well, he should have scored. That's going to be brought back. Going to be a block in the back. And it looked like there should have been possibly another block in the back here about closer to the 30-yard line. But for now, the touchdown is going to be wiped off the board.
Walking back to get the Bears, go find the touchdown. But it took the Bears beat in Cardinals territory.
A good return there from Garrison. And it's going to be interesting to see now with Sarcoxie in plus territory here. Did a good job at shutting down Garrison on the last possession. I would expect a heavy dose of him here in this one. And speak of the devil, first play, he's going to run right over. I believe that was Calvin. Calvin pops right up. Garrison, a big kid, 6 foot 190. He became, I believe, the number 3 leading rusher in Sarcoxie history last season. I'm sure he's up to at least number 2 here early in this one after 600 or almost 700 yards early in this one. And that one's going to go to Crispin, and Crispin's going to be brought down for a short gain on the outside. Like it's going to be a gain of 1. Tackled by Caden Calvin. Calvin been everywhere on the defensive end up to this point. Third and 7. You're forcing Sarcoxie into another third and medium, third and long. I would expect another run here. This one going to Garrett, or it's gonna be a keeper by Caddick. I think that one had several Cardinals fooled, and it's gonna be close to a first down. I would anticipate a 4th down play being run either way by the Sarcoxie Bears, and they're gonna give them a first down. Be a gain of about 7 2.25 of an inch. And a good run there by Caddick. Good ball fake. Everyone in the at the field stadium here tonight thought that one was going to Garrison, and he just last second just kind of pulled it out and was able to get the first down run. This one going is gonna be pulled. It's gonna go to the outside, triple option to Chrisman, and touchdown Bears. And that's what makes this offense so difficult to defend. It was a long hold there in the belly of Garrison, so it looked like he was going to take it. But then Caddick pulls it out, and a tremendous play call there with the triple option. And it looks like Sarcoxie just going to go for the extra point here. And kick is up. Kick is good by Lane Everts. And we got ourselves a ball game. 15-7's your score. We'll step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417.
Welcome back to Miller as we are getting ready to kick the ball off once again. 15-7 your score here. We still have a minute to play here in the opening quarter. And it looks like Mason Neely coming off hurt. And a good return there by Walters and a flag. Hear the pads popping from up here. It looks like it's going to be a hold on Miller. And Neely is he's hurting pretty good. He's left the sideline. He's going to the locker room. We'll once we see him come back, we'll see what information we can gather on him. Nevertheless, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Miller. Miller looking to find the end zone once again. Hill looking, doesn't find anybody, and it's going to be a hold there on 78, Eli Woods. Took Caleb Rickard to the ground, and a lot of times that is going to be called a hold. That's going to bring up a 1st and 20. And that's tough here. Just as important as it is for the Miller defense to get Sarcoxie in the 2nd and 3rd and long, it is just as important for their offense to stay out of the long situations. Nate Hill looking to pass. He's going to go deep. He's going to go back to long. And this one overthrown, but a flag. And it looks like it's going to be a pass interference. And I'm not so sure. I think Miller may have gotten away with one there. It looked, I didn't see a whole lot of contact that would typically bring out a penalty flag. But nevertheless, we're going to go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20 to 1st and 5. So the Cardinal offense catches a break, which is something I feel like I haven't said a whole lot this year.
Don't like it.
Hill, empty backfield. And Hill is going to run to the outside, and he's just going to throw this one out of bounds. I think Walters is going to be listed as a intended receiver, but that one was just going out of bounds the whole way. This young Sarcoxie defensive line has done a pretty good job bringing pressure, and that's something that I wasn't sure. That was something that I was kind of watching here early on to see how this offensive line holds up against Sarcoxie's defensive line. And vice versa, how the extremely young offensive line for the Bears match up with this veteran defensive line for Miller. Hill's going to scramble to the left. He's looking to throw, and he's going to be caught up and brought backwards. Be a loss of 3. And I believe that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. We're going to step aside for the quarter break. It looks like Lung's going to come back in for the start of the second quarter. But we'll step aside. 15-7 is your score here from Miller.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help
Of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the number 3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his
Welcome back here at Miller. 3rd and 7 as we open up the second quarter. Hill's rolling out to the right end. Pass dropped there by Owen Weiss.
Ball take the three. Finish for Owen Weeds.
And I think that was another one of those cases where he felt the pressure coming in and got a little bit of the jitters.
Neely's gone back out.
And good sign here, Mason Neely coming back into the game after going back to the locker room. Maybe he got a hold of the Miller smelling salts and he's ready to rock and roll. Owen Weiss with the punt. Good punt here. Ooh, maybe I thought it was going to land inbounds. We'll see where they spot it. And he's still walking up to the 46-yard line. Sarcoxie coming out looking to tie the ball game here. And this feels like it's going to be another roller coaster type of game. Chrisman goes in motion. This one's going to be pulled once again. And Caddick brought down for a short gain. We'll call it 1. I'm not sure if that's even all that he's going to get. Maybe 2. And Neely, he looks like he's still limping a little bit. He hurt something up in his leg. Perhaps his ankle looks like my eye.
His right ankle.
My eyes in the skies are saying it's ankle heavily taped his right ankle. And Chrisman on the pitch be knocked down. Good tackle there by Caden Calvin. Calvin just everywhere. It'll be a loss of about 4. 3rd and 11. This is where you want to be if you're Miller. You know, I think the common sense says be ready for perhaps a pass attempt, but I'd still be ready for Garrison to get the ball here. And triple option here going to the outside. Chrisman's going to be, or as we Gallup brought down. Big time tackle there by the freshie, Charlie Langston. And Malik's going to bring up that's going to be a gain of 5. But bring up a 4th and 7 from the 49, and it's decision time. And I believe they're going to opt to punt here. So the Miller defense once again standing tall, and a bad punt goes right back into the defensive line, and it's going to be downed about the 39. And that was a rocket right at the back of the heads of the offensive line. And Miller offense back out there. Nate Hill, 116 yards passing so far in this game. He's going to scramble out to the right, looking to pass, but no one's there. And that's got to be a situation where he knows he's got to get rid of the ball. This 3-5-3 defense is swarming the offensive line, especially with Neely not at 100%. Matter of fact, he's still on the sideline. I would like to see more quick passes. If you're gonna throw the ball, get rid of it quick and not unless of this rollout stress on the outside guards. But there's a reason why I'm up here. Hill looking to throw. This one is gonna be overthrown to Madsen, and that's really Hill's first bad miss of the game. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 15. Hill had been much, much, much better throwing the ball early on in this first half. I think that one might have just slipped out or. Hill looking to pass. Has pressure once again. He's scrambling out to the sideline, and he's going to throw it up for grabs. And that was incomplete there, passing into Owen Weiss. And that was one of those ill-advised. There was good defense by Chris Laura on the outside on Weiss. Would have been a tremendous catch if you made it, but Weiss is going to make the run back, and he's going to have to punt on 4th and 15. That drive went backwards for the Cardinals. Started on the 39, ended on the 34. And timeout called by the Miller Cardinals. We're going to step aside as the Miller coaching staff's going to try to figure out what they want to do here. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of
We're back out here in Miller, 4th and 15. Owen Weiss back to punt. And a low line drive. And number 5, Mallet, looked like he was going to try to make something out of it. But he's going to decide otherwise. And it's Chrisman. A good strong run there by Chrisman. That's going to be a gain of about 6.
I like 5.
Billy Bieber is going to tell me it's actually 5. But the people in charge agree with Billy here. 2nd and 5 from the 31. No one ever listens to Skyland. And a pass play here right through the hands of Garrison. Not a bad toss there. I really like that play call, play design, trying to get Garrison into space here, but was just unable to make a tough over the shoulder catch. 3rd and 5 here. I'd be ready for the triple. Going to the long side of the field. 7:40 remaining here in this opening quarter, or in this opening half. I think I do that at least once every week. And this one is going to be a triple out to Crispin to the outside. And it's going to be close. A flock of Cardinals got there right at, and Crispin's still going. Whistles were blown for forward progress, but a very, very good strong run there by Crispin, not going down, and that can give him a first down. Call it a gain of 6. They're going to give him 7. This one going to Garrison up the middle, and good strong run. Going to gain about 5. Be brought down. I believe that was Brody Rinker on the stop. Actually, give me a gain of 6, despite Billy over here trying to tell me 4. I won that round. 2nd and 4 from the 43, down to about 6.5 minutes left in this opening half. And another run to Garrison, and Garrison off to the races. They have done a great job of containing him this time. He gets loose, and the speed kills. That's going to be a 57-yard touchdown run there by Noah Garrison, and that's going to cut it to a 2-point game. I'd anticipate a 2-point conversion here. Right as I was about to make a point of doing a good job of defending Garrison up to this point. And conversion is no good. So Miller's going to hold on to the lead here. And this is an important time for the Miller Cardinals. We've seen at times throughout the season, a couple things don't go their way, and all momentum shifts badly. And the Cardinals hadn't responded. They've responded, showed that they can respond well. They've showed that they can respond not so well. So this is a crucial drive here for the Cardinals. We're going to step aside here for just a moment as we get ready to switch sides. Matson and Walters back deep for the Cardinals. It's going to be Garrison. Might have caught his breath after the touchdown. But he's set to kick it deep. And this was going to go to Matson, the sophomore. Matson's going to return, looking for some space, and try to keep going to the outside. And he's going to be brought down there by 42. That is Carter Phillips. Brought the ball out to the 37-yard line. A decent return there from Matson. Going to bring out this Miller offense is going to look to move forward instead of backwards this time. This one's going to go to Calvin, and he's going to be upended there right at the line of scrimmage. Gain of 0 on that one. After a solid start there, the first couple of drives, he's kind of being quiet here. Still at 14 yards. Split backfield here with Dempster and Calvin in the backfield. And the ball comes out, and Nate Hill is going to just fall down by a pack of Bears. And that one, looked like he was trying to play action. The ball gets knocked loose. And disaster strikes. Be a loss of 6 there. And this has been tough sledding for Hill up to this point, running the ball. We're under 5 minutes now. 3rd and 16, Hill looking to pass and looking downfield. Nobody moving. This one's going to be completed to Calvin, and Calvin going to be upended and drove to the ground for a gain of 6. That's going to bring up a 4th and 6. Mallet back deep to return this kick. And a good punt here is going to take a Miller bounce, and Lung trying to get there before it goes out of bounds, or it goes into the end zone. And he gets there, downs the ball at like the 3-inch line. Officially called down at the 1, but I think it is inside the 1. Fantastic hustle there by Jared Long. And another tremendous punt. The growth I have seen from Owen Weiss in his punting from last year to this year has been night and day. He has been tremendous punting the ball. Send everybody back. Say unfortunate. Go to that. Unfortunately, that's one stat that you don't want a whole lot of. You don't want to punt all the time, but as Garrison is going to go to the outside, and he's still carrying defenders. He was hit there right at the line of scrimmage, but is able to break the first one and get to the outside. And that's going to be enough for a first down, gain of 12. After holding Garrison to just 9 yards on 3 attempts through almost a quarter and a half, he has exploded for 57 and 12 on his last 2 touches. And let's go back to the triple option to Chrisman, and Chrisman upended, nearly picked up by Jared Long. Long just a little small. Break the first tackle and gonna have enough for the first down, gain of about 12. I didn't see who caught that out of the backfield. I think it was Mallet. Yeah, gain of 12 for Mallet. And going back to the triple option, this one back to Mallet, reverses field, and still go. Reverses field, and still going. And a horse collar tackle is going to tack on 15 more there from Walters. And for being such a young offensive line, they have been very disciplined, especially whenever you have a running back going in reverse and field like that. It's not very often. Even the most veteran of offensive lines don't want to go out and reach and pick up a holding penalty. Didn't do it that time, and they and the Cardinals pay for it as now the ball's across the 50-yard line. First and 10 from the 47. We're going to toss it out wide, back to Mallet. Mallet's been the workhorse here, and this one's going to be called. This one's going to go backwards after a hold there by Caleb Chrisman. Had decent position, but then I think legs got tied up and ended up tackling Mason Neely. And that's going to bring up a first and 20. Once again, Miller got him in a long distance here. As we're under 2 minutes now. Chrisman in motion to the back. Caddick's going to look to throw. He's going to go deep. And ball tipped in the air and intercepted by Madsen. And no flag back there. And Madsen still running. I got to say, I think Madsen may have gotten away with a bit of a little forearm on the intended receiver, but not called here as Madsen is going to get an interception. That is his first of the season. And that was big for the Miller defense after kind of struggling to get a few stops there. Had him in good position to pin him back deep. But they needed that stop there. Hill looking to throw, and Hill going to the outside, and he's running and to the outside, and a good pickup there. Be about a gain of about 8. Or gain of 9. I think it was really closer to about 8.5.
Hard to tell.
It is very hard to tell from up here. Yeah. Minute and a half here remaining in this opening half. Hill looking to pass, and this one kind of falls between two receivers. I think it was intended for Walters, and Walters just wasn't quite ready for it. We bring up a 3rd and 1 with a minute and a half remaining. Not sure about that 3rd and 1. I understand what if you're going to throw it, take a shot play there, and you had two receivers there within a yard and a half of each other, and neither one of them were named Jared Long. 3rd and 1 here from the 37, and this one's going to be kept by Hill, and Hill's going backwards. Hill is going to throw this one away, and it looks like Miller's going to be called for an illegal man downfield. I believe this one is going to move backwards. Yep, illegal man downfield or an eligible receiver, whichever way you want to go with it.
Illegal man downfield on the Cardinals.
And that's going to be a replay the down. 3rd and 6. I think Sarcoxie was ready for that run play. It looked like it was a design run there to Calvin, and Hill saw the cavalry coming. Cardinals run to the line. 5 seconds on the play clock. 3rd and 6. 2. And the snap and a hold there by Connor Neely. This play is not going to count, despite it would have been a first down. And Connor Neely is going to be called for a hold. However, if Neely didn't hold him there, I think Nate Hill gets absolutely rocked in the back. And what was once a 3rd and 1 is now turned into a 3rd and 16. A position where you would expect a 2-down territory. Now you got to look at a gain of about 12 to look for a 4th down conversion. Minute 8 remaining here in this quarter. Opening half of play here in this week 6 matchup. Nate Hill under duress again, just throws it deep and nobody there. And this offensive line is being taken to school here. 4th down. And that's been something that's kind of surprised me up to this point. I figured the offensive line for the Cardinals, especially after those first couple of drives where they were playing really well. After the first couple of drives, it's been all defensive line. As a high snap here and a punt by Owen Weiss, and can take another good bounce. And this one's going to be brought down within the 5, down once again to the 1 yard line. Owen Weiss is unconscious, kicking the ball. $50 seconds remaining here in this opening half. 15-3 is your score. Miller has a lead. They're going to look to go into the half here with a lead. Ball on the 1 yard line. Maybe try to get him in the backfield here for a safety, but Caddick's going to hold. We're back here in Miller as they hold a 2-point lead over the Sarcoxie Bears. 41 seconds remaining. And this one's going to be kept by Caddick and brought down at the line of scrimmage. And I would anticipate that one. Nope. Timeout is going to be called by Coach Ellis over on the far sideline. A gain of 2 there.
What are you nervous for?
First time.
You ain't gonna do nothing. You practiced it enough, right? We're good to go.
We're gonna step aside here. 29 seconds remaining. We're gonna step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller as Sarcoxie looking for a little bit of life here at the very end of this opening half. And nearly got the Miller defensive front to jump. And this one's going to be handed off to Garrison. Garrison going to the outside. He's got space. Flag is thrown. I would assume that's going to be kind of in the area where I would expect a hold. And I was kind of surprised we hadn't seen Garrison yet in this drive. Indeed, it is going to be a hold, and it's going to push the Bears back to a 2nd and 19 from about the 4.
They have to get those goals, so they do 7.
This is
You're at the 12, I guess 6, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I have to do it.
Down to the 6-year.
Okay.
Sit it down.
Clock running here, and I would assume that's going to be the end of the half. I don't anticipate them running another play.
Oh, actually,
What?
I'll just-
I've been wrong before. 3 seconds remaining, and they are going to run one final play to Garrison, and he's going to be brought down for no gain, and that's going to bring us to halftime. The Miller Cardinals with a 15-13 lead here early on at the break. It's been a bit of a roller coaster up to this point. As Miller got the ball first, they had to punt, but on the ensuing possession, a fumble was recovered by Brody Rinker, and then Miller capitalized on that with a 45-yard touchdown pass from Nate Hill to running back Caden Calvin. With 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining there in the opening quarter, they then would capitalize on a 2-point conversion. Hill would find Owen Dempster in the back of the end zone, 8-0. After forcing a Sarcoxie punt, it would be a 6-yard touchdown run by Nate Hill with 3 minutes remaining, put the Cardinals up 15-0. Sarcoxie would respond right after that. A 6-yard touchdown run by Chrisman made it 15-7 with just over a minute remaining in the opening quarter. And that would be our score at the end of the first. Miller would have to punt to end the quarter there. And that would be answered by Sarcoxie punt, Miller punt, and then the big play, a 57-yard touchdown run by Garrison, who had been relatively quiet up to that point. 15-13 was the score. Then a couple of punts. Jalen Madsen got an interception, and then that brought us to the end of the first half of play. Grant Caddick is 1 for 4 passing the ball for 12 yards. Noah Garrison has 80 yards with a 57-yard touchdown. Mallett with 19 yards and a fumble. Chrisman 44 yards and a touchdown for 163 yards on the ground up to this point. Miller led by 122 passing yards from Nate Hill. Calvin 14 yards on the ground. Hill has 7. Calvin had the big play in the receiving game, a 45-yard touchdown pass for part of his 51. Jared Long, 57 yards receiving. He's been kind of beaten and battered up to this point, but he is leading the way with 57 yards receiving. Miller has done a good job of containing Garrison up to this point, with the exception of 2 big runs there. That first one of 57 yards. But other than that, it's been the triple option that we talked a lot about coming into this game that is going to be crucial to this game. But we're going to step aside. We're going to say thank you to our sponsors as we put the cheerleaders halftime homecoming performance here for you. But then following this, we want to say thank you to our sponsors. We're going to talk to Laura Walden of the Clever Barn a little bit, talking about her their spot down there just south of Clever. But thank you for tuning in. You're watching Southwest Missouri, or watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Hello, everybody. Skyline Akins with Southwest Missouri Sports here. Joined with me is Laura Walden of the Clever Barn. First off, just thank you for taking a little bit of time and talking with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So, Clever Barn here in Clever, Missouri, kind of event venue. Just kind of tell me a little bit more about about your venue.
Yeah, it was built in the 1880s, and my husband and I have done all the work on it to create a very relaxing, laid-back feel as soon as you get here. And we have every kind of event you can think of out here. We have weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, karaoke nights. We have ladies' nights, guys' nights, movie parties, a little bit of everything really out here.
Yeah, it really was there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You were taking me around here and showing me there was everything from a putting green to tiki bars. And,
yeah.
It really is. There is something for everybody.
Oh, well, thank you.
So when did you guys open?
We opened up May 17th, 2014. So we just now celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
10 years.
This summer, yeah, we went just like that. And we've just been having a blast, and we're always working on it. And it's just the two of us, and a lot of work, but we love what we're doing, have huge passion for it, and you just never know what you're going to see every time you come out. So we get a kick out of that.
What was your inspiration kind of behind wanting to open something like this up?
Well, you're probably going to laugh at this. Actually, we used to have parties here back when it was just a nasty old barn, and we're having a party upstairs, our Waldoween, which is our Halloween party we have every year, with our last name being Walden. It started with Waldo. So we're having our Waldoween back in 2013, and we had like 50 plus, people, and just having a blast, and at that time it was just nasty, Yeah. And as they were leaving, we were out there by the bonfire, and I said, what do you think about turning this whole thing into a venue, kind of thing? And he looked at me and said, I think you're nuts. And I said, well, I think so too, but you don't know till you try. So we started that very next morning, and we opened up 6 months later. And ever since then, we just get busier and busier and more known, We're really, really excited with where it's gone.
Yeah, so, you kind of talked about, you host all kinds of events,
Mm-hmm.
parties, guys' nights, girls' nights, weddings. I think I've seen pictures on Facebook of I don't know if there was like the Clever prom or not prom, but like there was like some event out here, I think a couple of years ago or something like that. But just kind of talk about what are some of your favorite events to put on.
My favorite events, I would say the most events we have out here are my Sweet 16 birthday parties.
Huh.
They have an absolute blast. Usually the moms are down here playing board games or shooting pool or whatever. And the girls are all upstairs, and they're singing karaoke, and they're dancing and having a little party, and they get the whole barn to themselves. And that's something else too. They can either bring in everything, or I can take care of everything and have it all ready for them, when they arrive. So I try to be really accommodating, for whatever they have in mind.
Yeah, you've been telling me, there's always something going on down here. Roughly, how many events do you guys host, every year?
Oh Lord, I would have to say at least 100, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, with everything, because some weekends are double booked. Sometimes I'm booked from Thursday through Sunday. It varies, and we're open all year round.
So obviously, Clever Barn. Not all your business comes from Clever,
Mm-hmm.
but just kind of talk about the relationship that you kind of have with the community out here.
Oh yeah, my gosh, I love having my open hangout nights, and like you say, we've got the putting green, the bowling, the kids zone, the karaoke dance floor, big bonfire pit, out the back. It's just we wanted it to be a laid back spot where people could come out and have a good time. And then now we got our food truck, so now we're doing that as well. And we don't charge anything, for individual things that they're going to do, and people appreciate that because, the economy, so I still want them to have a place to come out and have a good time, but not, break the bank,
Right.
So.
Yeah. So if someone wants to, schedule an event, whether it's a, if it's just like a group hangout or, a Sweet 16 birthday party, what's the process look like? To schedule an event like that.
Yeah. My number is 417-350-2343. They can call me, text me, whatever they're comfortable with. You can find me on Facebook, The Clever Barn, and I'm on Instagram, Google, all of those social medias. And I would love to talk to you. I'd love to have your events out here. The coolest thing about having a venue is that we've made so many friends out here, and it's amazing. They're not customers; they are actual. They're our friends, and we love that. We just really get a kick out of that,
So someone just gives you a call and then kind of says what they're wanting to do, what kind of event they're wanting to do, and is there like different package plans that they can choose from? Or
yeah. For my weddings, I can do the all-inclusive. Or I can do all you. So the all-inclusive, I take care of everything for up to 50 people. That's their catering. That is, all of their paper products. That would be their officiant. That would be their fireworks send-off. What else? Everything we have, they would have access to it. I know I'm forgetting some things. I do apologize about that. But in essence, if they have something in mind, I'll make it happen for them, and if they have everything already, down what they want to do, they just bring everything in and I'll help them, I can, run the bar for them, or I can take care of their food, or I can just be off to the side and be there when they need me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so having an event venue like this, I mean, I'm sure you've kind of seen a little bit of everything. I mean, just what's been a few of your favorite stories or memories that you've had hosting events?
Memories out here. I'll tell you one. This is really, really cool. Talking about having relationships. You know. Okay, so I'm having my ladies' nights here one night, and I have like 5 or 6 ladies, over there at the bar with me. Just chatting a little bit. And in walks a lady that I didn't know, so I walked over, shook her hand, thanked her for coming out, introduced myself.
Being a person that kind of helps those memories being made, that's got to be a really rewarding role to play there as well.
It's amazing. I meet people from all over, and it's just it's so cool. I can't say cool enough because I love what I do, and we have such huge passion for it. And we just try to keep it, authentic, because it is an old barn, and but we kept it original as we possibly could, you know what I mean? And I really feel that there's something for every age out here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we named it the Clever Barn, because we thought it was kind of clever that they could have anything out here, and we just get a big kick out of it, There's nothing like sharing memories with people.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate your time. Is there just anything else that you want to leave everybody with, or?
Really, I just want to thank everybody for accepting us, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're not in the middle of a big town with a big, marquee sign and lights and everything. We're kind of out in the boonies a little bit.
I think that adds to a lot. It.
It really does. People tell me all the time that this is a sweet getaway. And at nighttime, you got to see it at nighttime sometime. Even if you just drive by when we're having an event, it's like the circus has come to town. You know what I mean? Because there's just lights everywhere, and everybody's having a great time, and it's just so fun.
Well, I know you gave your contact information once. I just want to give it out one more time, just for everybody.
Yeah. 417-350-2343 is my phone number. I would love to chat with you if you want to, or you can just message my business page if you want.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura.
You're
really appreciate
welcome.
you sitting down with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his...
Welcome in to Miller as we are getting close to this start of the second quarter, or the second half rather, and Miller has a 15-3 lead. Let's take a look through some of the other scores in the area. Pierce City trails Marionville by just 8 at the half. I came in talking about that one could be interesting, more interesting than others may think, and that one is proven to be the case. Carthage leads Joplin 7-0. Warsaw leads El Dorado Springs 40-0. This El Dorado Springs team fell to Sarcoxie 50-35 last week. Cassville currently they're playing the role of giant killer as they hold a 14-3 lead over Mount Vernon. Cassville. Lamar, I don't have a score for Lamar. Nevada, don't have a score for Ashgrove Skyline. Branson leads Marshfield 49-7 at the half. Stratford leads Hollister 28-0. Republic over Webb City 6-0. Neosho over Willard 27-7. Ava leads Houston in one of our games of the week 36-0 at the break. Monette looking for their second win in a row of the mock era, 8-7 in the first quarter. Forsyth over Reed Springs 14-6. Aurora leads McDonald County 27-14 at the break. Thayer leads Kabul 18-6. No score from Clever and Buffalo at this time. Lockwood leads Liberal 51-0 in some 8-man action. That's something that I've never done that I want to go do. I want to go catch a 8-man game. Just because some of those scores, I mean, they look like primetime Big 12 scores. Taking a look, maybe at what's going on next week around the Southwest Conference. Miller, oh, that's this week. Miller will travel to Urbana for a showdown with the Skyline Tigers next week. Ash Grove will host Central Bulldogs. The Sarcoxie Bears, yeah, they are next in the Marionville path as they will travel to the home of the albino squirrels for a week 7 game. And Diamond will travel to Stockton, and Pierce City will travel to Lighthouse Christian. Some of the other games of the week, Hollister at Clever should be one to kind of keep an eye on. Clever, I haven't seen a score on them. They have a chance, the opportunity to win their 4th game of the year tonight against Buffalo, you would think. Now, kind of a bit of a weak slate next week. Carthage and Republic should be kind of the headliner there, along with Branson. I just read through them.
Did you? My bad.
Oh, but a new score that just came in: Fair Grove over Springfield Catholic, 22-7 at the break. That's kind of when I figured that would be a little more drawn out at this point. Nixa defeated Kickapoo in their Thursday night game last night, 48-13. This Nixa team just kind of on a different level than everybody else. Taking a look at Miller next week, they travel to Skyline, take on the 2-3 Tigers before on a middle of a 2-game road trip. Next it'll be against Pierce City before returning home against Marionville. The Sarcoxie Bears, they travel to number 1 Marionville before closing out the season at home against Diamond, then at home against Ash Grove. Well, we have run down the clock, and it is time for football.
We're ready to say it?
Opening kick's going to go out of bounds, and not ideal for Miller. As Sarcoxie's going to start the second half at the looks like the 45. And Lynette is leaving the building.
Slide over.
On their own 45-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 45. Go the Cardinals. Sorry, Sam, I'm not afraid to crowd you a little bit. Who's not fast? Sam Ferguson joining the table crew up here. Standout baseball player for the Miller Cardinals. Coming back from a nice little elbow surgery. 1st and 10 from the 45 to open up this 3rd quarter of play. Caddick's going to run the triple option going out to Chrisman here. Chrisman's going to be brought down by a whole host of Cardinals. Look like Brody Rinker there in the middle of it all. Rinker and Colton Brown and Owen Dempster and whole flock of Cardinals. A gain of 1. Second 9. And ball to Garrison, and Garrison stopped in the backfield. Owen Dempster there. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Big time play there. And, we talked a lot so far in this game, keeping Sarcoxie off schedule, getting them to 3rd and long. And the Miller Cardinals have done a pretty good job of doing just that. Do a hard count there with the flex bone motion. We're going to go back. This one going triple option, flip out to Gallant, and he is off to the outside, and he's got space. He's still going across the 30 to the 20, and a big play there on 3rd and 12. That's going to be a gain of 40 yards. A Mallet. I call him Gallant. That big carry there from Gatlin Mallet, and that's just being undisciplined on the outside. You were expecting maybe a pass. They've seemed to throw the pass at times in those situations. You crashed hard on Garrison. However, as a triple option, the guys on the outside got to stay disciplined here. And this one going to go to Garrison up the middle. Going to be brought down for a short gain. Maybe 1 on the play there. Oh, it's going to be a gain of 3. I can't see anything up here. And the thing about Garrison is he is definitely one, he does not fall backwards. He falls forwards. And even on a play where it looks like he gets stopped at the line, he still falls forward for gain of 3. This one being pulled back and nearly taken the other way there by Caden Calvin. Was just a step slow on the pitch. But my goodness, he was a split second away from housing it the other direction. But instead, it's going to be a gain of 4 for Chrisman. We're up 3rd and 3 from the 7-yard line. This Miller defense looking to get a stop here. And Garrison goes up the middle, and he's going to be lifted by Owen Dempster and pushed back by Blake Walters. Dempster just kind of grabbed him from behind, went full Brock Lesnar, pulled him, and started pulling him backwards. We were joking earlier about going to Suplex City. That time, Dempster was a little bit bigger. That's a big boy just to pick up and completely stop on the dime. Brings up 4th and 3. This is a big play here. From the 7-yard line. And timeout going to be called by Sarcoxie. They're going to decide what they want to do. Field goal. It's just a chip shot field goal from here. I'm not quite familiar with their kicker and his ability. However, you would suspect that 3 points here would be huge. Give Sarcoxie the lead. However, right, and that is the first field goal we have seen all season from either team. And that's going to give the Sarcoxie Bears a lead. 16-15, Sarcoxie leads. We're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller, Missouri, as the Cardinals playing from behind for the first time in this game after a 22-yard field goal was through the uprights by Lane Everts. And that was, I will say, I was kind of surprised that they decided to actually go and kick it. Now, granted, I wasn't sure what their kicker was like, but you just don't see a whole lot of field goals here in Class 1 high school football. But moving on, or going back to my point before, there's a lot of orange on the sidelines, a lot of orange on the field, a lot of orange in the stands. As Mavry Pritchett was diagnosed with leukemia on the day of the volleyball district championship game. Mavry, a volleyball player, and still battling, been doing better here as of late. So definitely promising to see that. I don't think she's in attendance. She's back down in Memphis at St. Jude's, but I've seen her around quite a bit. Saw her at school earlier this week, so been good seeing her around. Definitely been lifted up by this community. Run there by Calvin. Gain of 3. Seven minutes remaining. And what I would like to see out of this offense here is a lot of quick hitters. If you're going to run the ball, or if you're going to throw the ball here, this one's going to be ran by Owen Dempster. Can maybe get up back to the line, maybe a gain of 1 on his first carry of the game. But I want to see, if you're going to throw the ball, I want to see some quick hitters. Early on, the offensive line was playing really well, but after the first couple of possessions, the defensive line for Sarcoxie kind of had the offensive line's number. But yet we kept trying to go deep, run those long developing routes, and usually left the middle of the field wide open, especially when Calvin would come out of as we have whistles before the snap. And Coach Ellis was yelling. I'm curious, did he just he took their second timeout of this? Oh, no, it's me. Timeout on Miller. No, the White House was doing the Macarena there for a minute. It is a timeout by Sarcoxie. They're down to 1 timeout left in this game. We're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller, Missouri. We got 3rd and 5 from the 26-yard line. The Miller Cardinals playing from behind for the first time all game long, 16-15, as Nate Hill is by himself in the backfield. He's going to look to throw, and a quick hitter to Jared Long. And look what happens when you get the best athlete on the field of the ball. Nice gain of about 7 yards. And that's going to be a first down for the Miller Cardinals. I was talking to Owen Weiss's stepbrother, Tyler, at during the halftime intermission, and his grandpa, Coach Weiss's wife's father, a Hall of Fame football coach up in Milan, up in Northwest Missouri, and it's always been really interesting to get to pick his brain at halftime, seeing what the old coach sees, as Nate's going to scramble out, and he's going to get to the outside. Have a good pickup there. Pick up something out of nothing. And he was kind of saying the same thing. Let's see some more quick hitters. Obviously, the drop back the 4-5 step drop is not working right now. So let's see something short. Get Lung the ball. I know he's been a little banged up, but get your athletes the ball in space. That's where this Miller Cardinal team is so hard to defend, because you got athletes all over the place. Give them the ball in space, led by Jared Long. Split backfield here, and this one's going to go to Dempster. Dempster runs up the middle. Good, strong run. Be a gain of about 5, but more importantly, enough for a first down. That's going to bring the ball right to the 50-yard line. 5:46 remaining here in the third quarter. Miller on their first possession of the second half. And this one going to Calvin. This one's going nowhere. It looks like a little bit of trickery. Almost going for like a Statue of Liberty-esque handoff, and it went nowhere but backwards. And a team as disciplined as Sarcoxie, I don't understand trying to be too fancy with it. If you're gonna beat them, you're gonna have to play sound football. You can't get behind the sticks. Hill rolls out to the left, and he takes a huge hit. And probably should have been a roughing, but a good, strong reception there by Jared Long is going to bring up a 3rd and medium. And I think Coach Hill was wanting maybe wanting a roughing call there. But that's going to be a gain of about 9. Bring up a 3rd and 3. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to see. Quick outs to Lung. He's been your workhorse as the receiver position. This one's going to Dempster, and Dempster's going backwards. And that's going to bring up a 4th and long. 4th and 8. And it's going to bring out Owen Weiss for a punt. No, maybe not. They're going for it. 4th and 5 here from the 45-yard line. Trying to get the defense to jump. It looked like they got him. And the Miller coaching staff is irate. I don't blame them. And snap is fumbled. And Nate is going to be brought down in the backfield. And flag goes about 50 feet in the air. And Coach Hill earned every bit of that one. He's going to be curious to see if it's I would anticipate a sideline warning. They're going to call it unsportsmanlike. And after seeing what some of these opposing coaches have gotten away with against Miller up to this point, and usually just with a sideline warning, I am a little surprised that they're going straight to the unsportsmanlike. Now, granted, Coach Hill, earned every bit of it. However, you typically have seen a sideline warning first. We're having another conversation with Coach Hill. And the conversation's still going on, not getting anywhere. Trying to solve the world's problems here.
That's the chain game that's so close.
I suspect they're waiting to see where the ball is spotted.
Whose ball is it?
Sarcoxie's.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't get the fourth down.
And a brutal turn of events there for the Cardinals offense. As Sarcoxie's going to take over here on the 32-yard line, the chance to go up 2 possessions. Ball handed off to Garrison. Garrison gets wrapped up there by Caden Calvin. I think that's a big play there. A lot of times after, something like, what we just saw, Miller's defense have been prone to give up a big play, but that was a good job staying disciplined, not letting that big play happen. Second and 10 from the 32. And this one's going to be pitched back to Crispin. Crispin's going backwards once again. Third and 10 from the 32. Charlie Langston there on the tackle. Another big tackle there by the freshman. And he's a guy that's got a bright future ahead of him. Been tearing it up at the JV level. I saw scoring touchdowns as a running back, but getting a lot of time as a varsity linebacker. And Caddick's looking to throw. He's going to reverse field, try to run, and he's going to be brought down there. Connor Neely and Brody Rinker in on the tackle. And that's going to be a sack, a loss of probably about 4, 5. That's a big play there to force a punt. However, at this spot of the field, I'd be ready for a fake. Nope, ball is up and into the end zone. Touchback, we Cardinal ball at the 20-yard line. Defense makes a stand. Let's see if that energy transfers over to the offense. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller as the Cardinals take over on after the punt. Nate Hill scrambling to the outside. He's going to just take a leisurely stroll out of bounds.
Gain of nothing.
A lot of running there. A lot of running side to side to get a gain of 0. Maybe a gain of a half an inch. Hill with a split backfield. And another blitz. And once again, just taking way too much time waiting for something to come open. Hit something quick. Especially when you see, 9 in the box like we've been having. Yeah, loss of 5. I understand this Sarcoxie defense is good. This Sarcoxie defense is quick. They like the blitz. They've left the middle of the field wide open. That's and that's where Miller's made a couple of their big chunk plays. Hit something up the middle. Something quick up the middle. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper by Hill, and that's going to go nowhere. Gain of about one there, and another possession that goes backwards. And going to force a punt. Kind of mind-boggling. Ooh, a bad punt or a bad snap there. The punt is solid, and you can see if it gets a return, and it is going to be returned by Gatlin. Gatlin Mallet with the return. And that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line for Sarcoxie. I will say the Miller defense has been pretty stout, with the exception of one long run. When they're given a long field or given decent field position, they have been pretty solid. But they're going to have their work cut out for them once again, as Charlie Langston in on the tackle of Mallet. Can be a short gain, maybe 2 or 3. And that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Bears take the lead on their only score of the 3rd quarter, a 22-yard field goal on the opening possession. We're going to step aside. 16-15, the Bears lead the Cardinals.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the number 3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now
Welcome back to Miller, as we are approaching winning time here, as I like to call it, the 4th quarter, as the Bears lead the Cardinals 16-15, and he uses every bit of that there in a 37-yard touchdown scamper. 22-15 is your score here, and this will be big here. A 2-point conversion will put it to a 2-possession game. And going to throw it deep out of bounds, incomplete. It was going to bounce out of bounds, but it kind of took a kind of a bit of a backwards hop. And the Miller Cardinals defense comes back out to work in a 7-point game. Miller Cardinals offense. I'm going delusional. I can't count. I don't know offense from defense. And it's going to start with the encroachment penalty That was one that Coach Hill was looking for a couple possessions ago. Miller goes back to the line, 1st and 5 from the 33. Hill looks to pass, and he's going to go deep to Jared Long, and Long's going to get over the top of him. You got mossed. Chris Laura meets Jared Long. What a reception. That's a big-time play there when you needed it the most. That one would have made Randy Moss proud. Big gain. At 40 yards, we'll call it. Gives Long his second straight 100-yard game. Nate Hill looking for Walters, and Walters hit hard from behind. I think he may have been lucky to hold on to that. A gain of 5, however.
Walters on the deflection, picked up their yard from Hill.
What a play there from Jared Long. Went up and high pointed it right over the top of Chris Laura. And Hill is going to test his luck again deep. And that's when the Weiss just through his hands. And I don't mind that taking another shot there. If you're, I do like if you're going to take a shot, throw it early, let your receiver go deep and make a play. That's something I was talking with Coach Weiss's father-in-law at halftime. He said, let's see something, and that's something he wanted to see. If he's going to go deep, get rid of it quick, let your receivers be athletes and go make a play. 3rd and 6 here from the 33. The Miller offense looking for another big play here. And Hill going to the outside, and he's hit as he throws to Long and just out of bounds. Hill took another big hit there on the throw, and that's going to bring up 4th and 6.
4th down and 7.
I think you're at the time, you're in the position spot on the field where you're going to have to go for it at the 33-yard line. Your defense has been playing well. You've already connected for a big play once on this drive. But I want to see something quick up the middle on a throw. Something quick, and that's not very quick. Owen Weiss is going to get the reception. He stretches the ball out, and that stretch may have just bought a first down. It did. What a tremendous effort there from Owen Weiss. He needed 7, and he got 7 and 2 inches. It's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 25. And Owen Dempster looks a little confused. He's going out wide. Not sure that's quite what Miller was looking for, but he has him wide open in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! Oh, but we got a flag in late.
Touchdown, Bailey on the field.
And if this is going to be a personal foul on Owen Dempster, this may be the biggest bonehead thing of the season. And there's been plenty to choose from. On the other side of the field, flag is thrown. Oh, they're going to call an ineligible receiver downfield. still a brutal penalty there after takes a touchdown pass to Matson off the board. However, that does make me feel better that it wasn't a personal foul. That one would have been hard to take, especially from one of your senior leaders. 1st and 15 from the 30. Hill scrambles to the outside. He's looking. He has Walters in the middle of the field. He's going to eventually find him. That's a flat. Going to be a off pass interference, and that was number 42. Carter Phillips just got there just a touch early. He's trying to make a big hit on Walters after he catches the ball. Got there just a step early, and that's going to be not going to quite be enough for a first down, I don't believe, but should be. Nope, it is going to be enough for a first down. Bring up a 1st and 10 from the 15. Don't got to get all 15 to have another set of downs. Yep. That's going to be a first down after the pass interference. That's tough. That's a decent play there by Phillips. Just got there just a hair too early. Split backfield here from Hill, and I believe that was Calvin brought down in the backfield. There's this 3-yard line, 3-yard. Yeah, she's going to be brought backwards for a 3-yard loss. He's back down to 12 yards for the game. He's just had nowhere to run. This defensive front for the Sarcoxie Bears has been very impressive, despite being young. 2nd and 13 from the 18-yard line. Nate Hill looking to the end zone, and the receiver and Matson and Hill just not on the same page, nearly gets intercepted, but the ball goes back to the back of the end zone. Third and 13 from the 18-yard line. Looking to get to the 5. Hill with a split backfield. And Hill going to throw it once again. This one was intended for Long, but Long was nowhere to be found. And just like that, 3rd and 13. And what was a very promising drive is being threatened. Gotta have a big play here, or you're gonna end a very promising drive with nothing. 4th and 13 here. Hill's gonna scramble out to the right side, and he's gonna go to the end zone. Oh, and the ball gets tipped away. Great pass breakup there by number 10. Chris Laura gets a little bit of redemption there after giving up a big play earlier on that possession. Makes probably the biggest play on defense for the Sarcoxie Bears that drive, and Miller is stalled out on the 18-yard line. And now it's gut check time for this Miller defense. This defense has played very well up to this point, but this is a situation where they absolutely have to have a stop, and that's going to be a good first down stop there on Noah Garrison. Be a gain. All right, I guess he fell forward further than I thought. Big gain of 4. 133 yards for Garrison. 22-15 your score. We're getting down under 7.5 minutes left to play. And if flags come out, looks like it's going to be a false start. And indeed, that's what it's going to be. It's going to push the Sarcoxie Bears back. Brings up a 2nd and 11. Cardinal defense looking for another big stand here. This one going to the outside to Crispin. Crispin's got space. He's still going, and he has no one in front of him. Miller's looking to catch him from behind. They're going to eventually grab him. Blake Walters chased him down, but not before a gain of about 62. And Crispin has his first big run of the game. We talked a lot about before the game with Coach Hill about limiting the explosive plays. And there for a while, Miller was doing a good job of it. But here, as of late, a 37-yard rush from Noah Garrison that found pay dirt. Gatlin Mallet found a 40-yard gain. And Caleb Crispin there with a 62-yarder. Here in the last few possessions, 19. As Garrison's going to go up the middle and just short of the goal line. Another gain of about 13. He's up to 158 yards on the ground. And this drive has just looked like a Miller defense that has battled tough, but has just ran out of gas here late. And this one back to Garrison, and he is untouched into the end zone. Gain of 3 yards for a touchdown. And that one should just about put this one away. 161 yards on 16 carries and 3 touchdowns for Garrison. And it's a fake. Going for 2. It's intercepted. But rule is in high school, you can't return a failed 2-point conversion. Brody Rinker will get the interception. It looked like he might have had an opportunity to go down for 2 points if it was a college game. However, 28-15 your score. We're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller as Sarcoxie's winding down on their 4th win of the season, as a squib kick is going to bounce around and is going to be returned here. That big collision there of Owen Dempster. And this is going to be the 2nd week in a row where Miller had really good positions on several drives to really ice the game and get their 2nd win of the season against really good teams. However, this one I think is gonna get away from him here late. And Hill's gonna toss it to the outside to Calvin, and he's gonna be chased down there by number 11. That was Lane Everts. Be a loss of 1 there by Calvin. Clock ticking down to 4.5 minutes remaining. A little looks like it's gonna be a little swing pass to Calvin, but it's gonna go back up the middle to long gain of about 4. That's a lot of what I was wanting to see. Earlier in the game, they have had success up the middle, quick all game long. They've had a lot of success there. And I'm not sure quite why in the middle of the third quarter they kind of went away from that. Or I guess in the second quarter they went away from that. And Sarcoxie was able to respond with a big second and third quarter. Nate Hill running for his life once again, and he's going to be brought down for a loss of about 15. And that very nearly puts Miller's rushing game in the negative as a team. They're at 4 total rushing yards. Fourth and 20. This is a last-ditch hope and prayer. Miller's gotten a couple of these so far this season. And Hill scrambling to the outside. He's looking, and he's got Walters, and it's gonna be close. I think he got there. And that is a horrible spot.
No way.
Can be officially a gain of 18. But I think the spot was off by about at least 2.5, 3 yards. Garrison brought down for a short gain. A gain of 3. Second and 7 play here. And it's going to go back to Garrison. Garrison up the middle. And going to be short of a first down, be a gain of 4. Or a gain of 5. We're up 3rd and 2 from the 37-yard line. Don't go anywhere after this game. We're going to bring up Coach Russell Ellis and Noah Garrison for our player of the game interview after this one concludes. And I hear whistles and timeout called by the Miller Cardinals here with 1:14 remaining. We're going to step aside for just a minute while they decide what they want to do on 4th and 1. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Fourth and 1 here for the Sarcoxie Bears. They're looking to get one final first down here before they ice it, and Miller's going to jump off sides. They're going to say that Sarcoxie moved. We're going to have a discussion, but and they're going to say that Sarcoxie did flinch first. Bring up 4th and 6. And for Miller, it's at this point in the season, you don't want any moral victories. However, I think there's a lot that you can take as you can take a delay a game here, give the punter a little bit more room to work, and a timeout called by Sarcoxie. I'll finish my thought here in just a moment, but we're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Miller as we have a 4th and 6, and Sarcoxie's going to punt, and a high punt. Nearly gets blocked, and this can go out of bounds. They're at about the 21-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. They may say that it went out at the 1. Sorry, I guess I probably shouldn't have said that. Be 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. 1:08 remaining. Yeah, I know the clock is not right anymore on our little ticker. But don't go anywhere after following the game. Noah Garrison and Coach Russell Ellis here in the press box. And Hill's going to look to throw. He's going to hook and ladder to, I believe that's Walters. The reception made there by Weiss. And a pitch backwards. The pitch is going to end up being a gain of nothing after the pitch. And a deep shot here to Madsen, and Madsen off the fingertips. Nearly came up with a big play there. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. It's going to be a 2nd 10. Did he get the first down on the hook and ladder? Maybe that hook and ladder was actually further than I thought it was, and it was a gain of 10. Either that or we may have another situation where we have a 5th down like last week. Nate Hill looking to throw once again under some duress. He's looking, he's got Madsen, and Madsen's going to be yanked down by the shoulder pad. And an unnecessary roughness call is going to be, flag is going to be thrown. As of right now, it's a gain of 15. I think there's going to be another 15 tacked onto it. And Nate Hill having his best throwing output, 237 yards through the air. The Pats game looks like it's found a little bit of a rhythm here this week, and that could be something to take into next week's game. As Hill looking to throw, he's going to go long, go to the end zone, up, and touchdown! Owen Weiss, a 35-yarder. What if there has been anything to be positive about from this Miller offense? These receivers are going up and making big-time plays. They are showing that they are athletes and lethal athletes at that. Extra point up and good.
The point is here.
We're going to step aside. It's 28-22 here with 25 seconds left in the ballgame. Welcome back to Miller, where I would anticipate a onside kick here. Actually, I'm not going to anticipate. I'm just going to straight up and say it's going to be an onside kick. Down 6. We've seen the cardiac cards all season long. Let's see if they got just a little bit more ounce of magic in there. Long on the kick. And you can go right up the middle, and the ball's up! And there's a scrum. And Miller's got the ball. Miller has the ball. They got 24 seconds, and Miller's got the ball. Holy smokes. This one may not be over yet. First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Miller looking for some late game magic. And Hill's going to look to Lung. Lung is going to try to get out of bounds here. And he does there at about for a gain of 10. They're going to call him just short of the first down mark. That's going to be a gain of 9. Do what? Oh, they're going to call it for like a gain of 6. What in the world? 2nd and 2 here. Nate Hill looking to go. He's got Madsen. Madsen off of his hands. He had it beat. He had him beat. He had his man beat, hit him right in the breadbasket. The sophomore misses a big one, but can be consoled there by some of the senior leadership here. That's a tough drop there, but there's still 11 seconds left to play, and this Sarcoxie defense has been beat deep on several times already tonight. This one's not over yet. Bring up 3rd and 2 with 11 seconds remaining. Hill looking. He's going to go deep once again and just out of the reach of Jared Long. And one more opportunity here. 6.5 seconds left. Madsen had him beat deep. And that one's gonna sting. That's one that's gonna stick with the young receiver. But it's gonna tell a lot about him to see how he bounces back, especially going into next week. 22-28. Here's the score. The Miller Cardinals gonna have. I'm interested to see how they want to play it here. They could hit a quick out route. Make sure you get the first down first, or even with a timeout left, you can hit a quick slant, call a quick timeout, and then you can have another opportunity. However, I would anticipate a throw to the end zone here. One more play here from Miller. I wouldn't say it. See, it's a cardiac card's got one more play in him. Nate Hill drops back. He's looking deep. He goes to the end zone. It's short, and it's going to be intercepted and returned. And that's going to be your ball game. And the PA announcer, Donnie Long, says it best. Sarcoxie survives the cardiac cards here tonight. 28-22. And man, and you gotta feel for the sophomore receiver. That's one that's there's plenty of other plays that could have been made throughout the game where that one was that would have been irrelevant. However, that's gonna stick with the young man. What a game here in Miller, Missouri. It's like we play great game after great game so far this year. Sarcoxie Bears wins it. As we have officially gone final, 28-22 is the final score. And I mean, what a roller coaster this was. We had just about everything you could ask for. And the scoring was started by Miller there early on, a 45-yard touchdown pass to Caden Calvin, who catches his first ball of the season. And he goes for 6. 8-0 was the score after Hill found Owen Dempster for the 2-point conversion. After a Sarcoxie punt, Nate Hill ran it in 15-0 before the word go. And it was Sarcoxie that would respond. Sarcoxie responded with a 6-yard touchdown run by Caleb Chrisman, who took it to 15-7. Then the long run by Garrison, Noah Garrison, 57-yard run, 15-13, gave with a 2-point lead for the Miller Cardinals. They took that lead into the halftime break. After the break, Sarcoxie hit on a 22-yard field goal to take the lead 16-15 early in the second half. And then the fourth quarter was absolutely bananas. Sarcoxie 37-yard touchdown run by Garrison put him up 22-15. A 3-yard touchdown run looked like it sealed the deal by Garrison 28-15. And then a 37-yard touchdown pass to Owen Weiss with 25 seconds left, 28-22. Then Sarcoxie had onside, or Miller recovered an onside kick to give them an opportunity there late. And then had a very, very, very good opportunity bounce off the shoulder pads of Jalen Madsen. That would have been a potential game-winning touchdown. Tough one there. 2 weeks in a row where Miller looks like they had a chance to win at multiple points in this game. However, does not get the job done. Nate Hill leads the game passing 281 yards. He was throwing dot after dot. And he got 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. The rushing game really struggled for the Cardinals as they tallied a total of 4 rushing yards total. Caden Calvin had 11, Nate Hill -10, Owen Dempster had 3. Jared Long notches his second straight 100-yard game, 126 yards. Madsen had 15. Owen Weiss had 61 and a tutty. Walters had 28, and Caden Calvin had 51 and a tutty. Sarcoxie's passing was 1 for 4. Grant Caddick had a 12-yard completion. That was it for him on a big third down play. Noah Garrison led the way, 171 yards rushing. Caleb Crispin right behind by 108, thanks to a big 62-yard run there late and a touchdown. Garrison had 3 touchdowns. Gatlin Mallet had 62 yards, and Grant Caddick had added in 15. We're going to step aside for just a second. I see our player of the game, Noah Garrison, coming up to the top. We're going to step aside for just one moment. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. I am joined by the player of the game, Noah Garrison. First off, tremendous game.
Thank you, sir.
Well, first off, I mean, just it was a roller coaster back and forth. Miller jumped out early, 15-0. And then you guys punched back. Yeah, kind of struggled getting going there early, and then broke the 57-yarder, and then was able to break a few more long ones. Just kind of talk about how you felt about this game so far, or here tonight.
We struggled quite a bit in the first half, but we came back. We got locked in. O-line stepped up a lot. Wouldn't be able to do it without them. Those big runs, they make the holes for me. I get downfield, we score. I mean, and our quarterback, great quarterback, made really good reads. Gives me the ball when I need it, and pulls it if we need a big play by one of our other players.
Me and Coach Ellis talked on Wednesday just about how young this offensive line was. And, you couldn't tell here tonight. They've played tremendous, opened up some huge gaps or huge holes there in the second half. I mean, just what does that say about them, doing that against a solid defensive line, as freshmen and sophomores?
It says a lot about their character. I mean, they came in here knowing that they were younger, less experienced, but they stepped it up, play hard, and I think they're playing at the next level that they need to be, and we're going to keep getting better.
So, you're no stranger to big games. You became one of the Sarcoxie's all-time leading rushers last year.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't missed a step here. Finished just under 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, just what did you see out of this matchup leading up, and how did you feel that you performed?
I knew leading up to this game it was going to be a tough game. I mean, Miller plays hard. Their record doesn't show it, but they're a pretty solid team. If we wouldn't have stayed locked in, we could have easily got beat, but we showed grit, and we came back and won this game.
This was a game that literally came down to the last couple of plays. After that onside kick, Miller had an opportunity to go in
at least tie the game, potentially win it. I mean, what was being said there in the huddle there as kind of the tensions were rising?
I mean, we knew we had to, step it up. We had to make sure we didn't let anybody behind us, and we knew the game was in our hands right there. We had to get a stop, and we came back and we picked it off, and we won the game right there.
Well, you still got a few more big ones coming up, starting with, I believe, Marionville next week.
Yes, sir.
And then closing with Ash Grove, a couple of state-ranked teams. What are you hoping to take out of tonight moving forward?
I'm hoping our O-line can keep improving, keep making those big holes for us. I hope our other skilled players, we can keep getting those yards. I mean, I may have got the ball down the field, but they got the ball down the field for me as well, so I could get some touchdowns. So couldn't do without them.
Well, Noah, congratulations. Big win here tonight. Go celebrate with the guys.
Thank you, sir.
Joining up next is going to be Coach Russell Ellis of the Sarcoxie Bears. And speaking of the devil, just jump right on in.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us. Appreciate you doing this. This is awesome.
I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it makes it even more fun whenever you get to call games like that. I mean, that's just one of those instant classics. I mean,
down to the wire. Oh my gosh.
You can't get much more down to the wire than that. I mean, like I was talking with Noah. I mean, it was a roller coaster there from the beginning.
Yes.
Miller jumps out early. You guys respond. Go down into the halftime down 2. Just what was being said there in the locker room? Down 2.
Well, we talked about some offensive things. We need to make some halftime adjustments. They were kind of doing something that we hadn't really seen. We felt like there were some plays to be made that we left on the board early on. And so really at the halftime, just like, hey, stay cool, calm, and collected, do your job. We need to make a couple adjustments here or there offensively. We felt like we were in a perfect place. Defensively, man, we just kind of reiterated, hey, take away the big play, take away the big play. And we kind of did, but that was the message. Hey, just do your job and finish. So,
yeah, I mean, just talk about this run game. We talked a lot, leading up, about the triple option, and there's not, it's not as explosive as some of the other high flying offense that you see.
Sure.
However, you guys have been pretty good about making it explosive, but early on, Garrison was kind of slow getting started. I think he was at 11 yards, about quarter and a half in before he broke off the big 57-yarder. What does that say about just kind of the determination of these guys, early in this game?
Well, it's one of those things like the triple option. And one of the coaches talked about it this summer. This offense, it can be, hey, 1 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard, and all of a sudden it hits for a big play. So it's just a matter of our guys kind of executing. Hey, we figured out what they're doing defensively to try to take away Garrison. And so we've got to counter that with our scheme and our guys being disciplined up front. And they did a really great job. Hey, defensively, Miller did hey, we're gonna take away 33 and your other guys got to beat you. And our guys, I felt like, answered the call. I thought Caleb Chrisman had a heck of a night.
I agree.
Malott doesn't get enough credit, blocking. We asked him to block a lot tonight, and obviously getting Garrison going. Our quarterback did a great job getting in our checks up front. I felt like we adjusted, right? We adjusted their physicality and kind of took off there in the second half.
Yeah, we talked a lot about, kind of the youth and inexperience of this offensive line. And, being up here, it looked like, they adjusted, well there in that second half. Just what did you see out of your young guys?
Well, I thought they did a really good job. As the game progressed, Miller started making some plays defensively that, we were just not executing. And, you pull the kids over to the side and they responded. We challenged them and say, hey, look, we got to do a job. Take care of, hey, 22 is a heck of a player. That kid, hey, is a problem on the D-line. And so we were able to finally figure out what they were doing with him. And offensively, you talk about young kids. Holy cow, I feel like this game's a testament. Hey, we got an opportunity to put the game away over here and finish in victory formation. And we ended up having to, make an interception with no time on the clock to finish the game. So a lot of that's our youth and our guys learning. They've never been in this situation, ever. And so, hey, kudos to our guys. Hey, finding a way to finish. Kudos to Miller for, hey, never giving up. Finish to the end. Hey, kudos to Coach Hill and those Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very often in high school football you see a game come down, especially, you're up 2 scores there, really, with 30 seconds remaining.
give up the long touchdown there, the onside kick. Just what does it say about the resilience that you're able to, go out and do or die time and make a couple big stops?
Hey, it was huge. Our defense, hey, Coach Gordon, our defensive coordinator, and Coach Metlock, Coach O'Hara, our secondaries coach, those guys, hey, listen, those guys got it dialed up and got us right. Our kids made plays when they had to. It wasn't pretty, but, a wise coach once told me an ugly win still counts as a win. So, hey, I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of them. I'm so just proud of their grit and their resiliency and their ability. Our three pillars are grit, respond, and finish. And so I felt like, those three pillars really stood fast as the game went on.
Well, big win here tonight. You got, two big ones here in the last 3 weeks, with a couple of state-ranked teams, starting with, the Giant in Marionville next week, and then closing off the season with Ash Grove. What are you hoping to take out tonight into those two games?
Listen, the game will take care of itself. The big thing is I want our kids to have confidence. Marionville is Marionville, Coach Grubbs has done a great job over there. I hope our kids just go and play hard. Hey, go play hard, make a name for yourself, and if, things go our way, good, just go up, do a good job, execute, and, let the chips fall where they may. But, you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, Marionville's a good football team. We go on the road there. But I will say that, hey, our kids, hey, we'll show some grit and let's see what happens. I tell our kids all the time, you never know. That's why you play the game, right? Then we've got Diamond at home. And Diamond Sarcoxie's kind of turned into a big game. It's a rivalry game. So you never count those guys out. They play hard. They do a really good job over there. And then we finished, obviously, state-ranked Ash Grove. Golly, I mean, kind of the end of our schedule is kind of tough, but I think it'll be good going into our, in the district playoff time. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. We're going to step aside before we sign off here. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. We just want to say thank you once again for tuning in to high school football here on a Friday night. It was a tremendous night of football. Sarcoxie gets the win 28-22. We're going to be in Skyline next week as the Miller Cardinals take on the Tigers for the first time as conference foes. As the Cardinals will look to bounce back after two tough losses here. But for everybody that's made this happen, thank you to Coach Ellis. Thank you to Noah Garrison for taking time out of their celebration to come chit-chat with us. And say thank you to my right-hand man, Billy Bieber, Lynette Kleeman, and the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Ferguson, who was up here as well. I'm going to say thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next